Hello, everybody. This is Joseph Pasek, and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to the flagship show of the Fired Up Network, Fired Up Live. And we got a good show for you tonight. We're going to begin tonight's show with Captain Canada, Drew Ebanks of OnPointBasketball.com, and sports fluent himself, Anthony K, as we talk NBA on NBA Jump Ball, and we also talk March Madness. Going to follow that with the Renaissance Mommy, Courtney Riddle. And Anthony K will be back here once again to talk on NFL Blitz. And then we're joined by the grizzled young veteran Marty Roberts and professional hockey player for the Toronto Six, yes, Taylor Woods, as we talk the PHF playoffs. But don't forget, tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. That's why I'm wearing green tie. All right. Green is also money, in case you don't know. The president of provinces of Canada, the mayor-elect of North America, may run for the mayor of Toronto, likes a lot of green. So anybody wants to throw me some green, I'll take it. Now, before we begin, I'd like to take this special opportunity and wish good friend of mine, Fired Up Network's own Giancarlo Alino, a very happy birthday. I think he's 26, 27, doesn't matter. Giancarlo will be back tomorrow here on the Fired Up Network, where we'll do the soccer show at 11:30 a.m., and we may do a Maple Leaf Forever pregame show and a Toronto 6 postgame show around 6 p.m., and then on Saturday, pre and post of Maple Leafs Forever Saturday. So 3 nights of great action. And I'd like to take this special opportunity and wish my niece, Alyssa Joyce Hill, a very happy Sweet 16. Sweet 16. And while I'm shutting out people, I like to take the special opportunity and a good friend of mine, really good friend of mine, Alexis. I want to give you a shout out, Alexis. Hopefully your night and day is going great, and hopefully all the kids are enjoying their March break. Only one day left for their March break. Of course, the weekend doesn't count, but there we go. Now, I present NBA Jump Ball with Drew Banks and Anthony K. Hello, everybody. This is Joseph Pasek, and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to NBA Jump Ball with Captain Canada himself, looking, well, I don't know if you cut your hair, if looking like 72 years old, older than .com. And Drew, you're sports fluent, and now not only is he an amazing coach, number one coach in Canada for 10-year-olds and under. All right, what's your team's name again?
The GTA Mavericks.
You never remember.
We are U11. Are U11, by the way?
Wait a minute. I got a message from Mansbridge saying, "Who's this guy, Anthony K?
How is he doing? It's been a long time."
First of all, he's doing great. We're going to have a national here on the Fired Up Network. But he's saying, who's this guy, Anthony K? His writing is spectacular. Better than the other guy who we had who never wrote a game report. Drew, thanks a lot for talking to that guy. Since you talked to him, he went downhill. All right? That's the truth. All right, Anthony K, Raptors game reports. Let's get to NBA Jump Ball, and then we'll dabble in March Madness. All right. So, Fred VanVleet, one game scoring 38 points, 39 points, one game scoring 8 points. Drew Ebanks, you're a Rhodes Scholar. You passed grade 2 16 times. What in the blue hell is going on with Fred VanVleet?
That's a good question. I mean, I think the number one thing is if the Raptors can win with Fred VanVleet, that's number one. I personally don't like to see him scoring 38 points. I don't like, we've said it before, I don't like when your point guard takes more shots than your number one player, Pascal Siakam. I like it when your point guard is able to pick his spots, when he's able to actually move the offense, get everybody feeling nice, and then pick his spots. I mean, I don't know, Freddie, I was really shocked guys with that press conference and the F-bombs that he was dropping and the way he was, I've never seen, and I'm sure we all have never seen Freddie that frustrated, and actually to release that kind of language on the masses. So something's going on with Fred. Not sure exactly what it is, but in order for this team to have any shot of, maybe even getting past the first round, they got to win a bunch of games, and Freddie's got to be that point guard who's going to get everybody their shots and make everybody happy.
I'll get back to you, Captain Canada. Now, Anthony K, Sports Fluent. Check out his show later on tonight. All right. Fred VanVleet, we talk about it, like Drew said, time and time and time again. If I was to pinpoint, is some of the frustration and some of the fault on Fred VanVleet or the entire team? Because you saw OG times in the corner here, pass me the ball, and they never pass him the ball and everything like that. So is it Fred VanVleet? Because when you're the point guard, you're the quarterback. Let's put it that way.
Mhm.
The problem is he's not a point guard. And I don't know at what point we're just going to admit that openly. He didn't come into the league as a point guard. He isn't a point guard. He's not a point guard now. So his instincts aren't that of what we want to see, a traditional point guard. And I tried to put him into that box too. I deserve that round peg into a square hole. And I was like, it's not fitting. Well, it doesn't fit because that's not who he is. And you know what? The more I look at it, and I was with Drew, remember last week saying the same thing, like he needs to be more of a facilitator. He needs to take on more of that leadership role and facilitate. He needs to get Scotty Barnes easy buckets. He needs to get Pascal Siakam off and going. He needs to get OG the ball. Here's the problem. That's not who he is. It's like asking you to, it's like asking you to dunk. You're not a dunker. You're not a dunker. That's not who you are.
How do you know that?
I'm just making an assumption that
you're saying Joe. Okay, I can understand because I used to dunk.
I was talking about Joe.
Can't even drink the new
point.
Big Mac.
Listen, how about this?
Can't even dunk.
Put it on me. I'll put it on me. It's like asking me to cook. Listen, I can cook. It won't taste good. You won't want to eat it. But, sure, I'll do it. But if you ask me to do other things, I'm good at that. So I'm really kind of torn because the player that the Raptors need is a facilitator, but the player that Fred VanVleet is not. He is a score. Even if you call him a point guard, fine, call him a point. He is a score first point guard, not a pass first point guard. So for this team to be successful, they almost have to say, hey, let's accept that and figure out another way to make this work. Who's going to be that facilitator? Don't know the answer to that question. But when he does score, they do look better. The problem is this season, he's been really inconsistent, right? I think he's the third lowest field goal shooting percentage of all eligible players in the league. He's bottom 5, I believe, in 3-point shooting. When he hits, he's great. When he misses, it's terrible. So they're really in a tough spot going into the playoffs. I don't know how they're going to fix it. They don't have enough time unless they just embrace it and say, hey, Pascal's going to get the ball in the paint. He's going to do a couple of spin moves and hopefully hit more layups than he misses, right? OG's going to sit in the corner and be ignored, and hopefully he gets a couple of passes and he knocks them down. Fred's going to shoot a bunch of shots, whether he should or shouldn't. And Scotty Barnes is going to be a typical second-year player where he's going to have a great game, then a bad game. 3 quarters where it looks like he's not even playing, and then a fourth quarter where all of a sudden he gets one dunk and all of a sudden he can't miss a shot. That's who they are. What concerns me more, and I'll end it with this, their calling card was defense. Nick Nurse's calling card is defense. Where the hell is the defense? Where is the defense? Like you said, I've been Pulitzer Prize winning writer here the last couple of weeks. And every time I look at the stats, they've given up over 50% from the field, over 40% from 3. Where's the defense?
All right,
great points. I just want to add something quickly to that.
Hold on, let me say, do they have the facilitator in the house with Malachi Flynn?
No.
Anthony, what do you say?
No.
Okay, Drew. Because this guy has never been given time.
Well, I mean, I'm a Malachi Flynn fan. I don't know if he can really play. I mean, I've seen him in glimpses, seen him a little bit in the G League, seen him in some summer games where he put up a lot of points. I'm not sure why he isn't in the G League. I don't understand what they're doing. Why do you have this player around if you're not going to play him up at the big squad? Even guys like Delano, like I've been at 905 games, several this year. Delano's come down. What? And why isn't anybody asking this question? If Malachi Flynn cannot play at the NBA, if that's what you're saying, Nick Nurse, if that's what you're saying, Masai Ujiri, Why hasn't he been down in the G League doing his things? There's guys in the G League that are young players that have been in the G League for 2, 3, 4 years, just getting the proper seasoning, getting the reps, getting the game time in. The fact that he is not down at the 905 on a regular basis, if you're not going to play him with the big club, is very, very baffling to me. And I've been around the 905 since day one. I don't understand what they're doing with Malachi Flynn. As Anthony said, when you have your point guard scoring 36 and then your number one guy scoring 12 and somehow to pull off a win, maybe people are happy about that, but that can't last forever. And going into next year, they're going to have to really make a choice and figure out how they're going to play and also make everybody happy, guys, because right now, not a whole lot of players on that team, I don't think, are very happy. Rotations, the point guard taking up 40% of the shots or whatever it is. This team can't be happy right now.
Well, just to take that a step further, just think about the lineup. Fred VanVleet is a scorer. Pascal is a scorer. OG is a 3-and-D guy, but he wants the ball more. Who else is in that starting lineup? Scotty Barnes. It's a scorer, really. So you got who's the one that's going to say, "Hey, I'm not going to take the shots. I'm going to get you easy shots." And then the answer is there's no one.
Well, why isn't Nick Nurse able to? I mean, you're the coach. Anybody can see this is not successful. Why isn't Nick Nurse, guys, able to say to Freddie, "We don't need you taking 30 shots a game, 20, 22, 25 shots a game. This is the way we need you to play." I mean, if he's got no reins over this young man, then what does he have? What business does he have being the coach? Because everything is discombobulated. Nothing makes sense.
That's a very good question. Can I go back a second? When was maybe I'm going back too far, but you're talking about Malachi Flynn. They probably shouldn't have drafted Malachi Flynn. Let's just be honest, right? You had Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet. You already had two undersized point guards. Why are you getting another one?
So then why not trade him? Why not find a place for him and move him for an asset?
Let him go somewhere and play. I think Malachi Flynn in a poor man's Seth Curry role, not Steph, Seth, would be beautiful. That's what he was, right? A 3-point shooter. Cool. Where is that 3-point shot? No one's getting him the ball in space to get that shot off. So it's just, you're right. It falls back on Nick Nurse. It
905, but not the whole organization. The 905 is there.
Put him in the 905 and say your job is to work on facilitate. Like, I remember I went into college as a shooting guard. Like, that's what I did. I caught the ball and I shot it. You never saw that ball again. The second it touched my hand, it was going to the rim. More time. Anyways, that's a different conversation for another day.
Now I know why his name is K for Clay.
So the thing is, my coach said, here's a ball. I don't want to see you walking around campus if you're not dribbling it, because you need to be a point guard. You need to be a better ball handler and a better passer. Figure it out. And he said, don't come into practice and without getting better every single day. And that's what I did. Is like, remember the program where we made him carry the football around to make sure he went up? That was me dribbling a basketball with my backpack on. Maybe maybe you're right. Send him down to 905, put him in that situation, say, hey, you're going to have 10 turnovers today. I don't care. I want you to work on being that pass first facilitator and get the other guys easy buckets. He'll figure it out. I think he's a good enough ball player, smart enough ball player to figure it out. So maybe that's what they need to do.
2 points there. First of all, it's too late to send it to 905. Why they selected him? Because they had the vision of Kyle Lowry already. Probably, he's probably not going to sign on with the Raptors, so they need another point guard. For me, like Drew said, we don't know. Sometimes this guy is great, but without playing time. And why is he the 12th man and a 12-man rotation? That's number 2 there, because he's more than a 12th man. Put it that way. He should be your 9th or 10th option, not the 12th. So Nick Nurse maybe doesn't like him. Coaches play their favorites. Let's move on to something else.
You did remember his father did speak up. Yeah. Malachi's father did speak up, really not happy with the Raptors, not happy with Nick Nurse. And so there is something there. But again, why not move the young man? If you're not going to play him at the big leagues, if you're not going to play him at the second tier, the G League, then ship him on out. But it just seems that there's some reason they're holding on to this kid. And it's just sad to see, because the Raptors are usually pretty adept at figuring out who they want to play, figuring out the system they want to run. And to me, I don't know, is there enough scrutiny on Nick Nurse? We've said it before.
No.
I mean, it's ultimately the coach's fault that this team is lagging. To me, there's enough assets that this team should be, a top 4 or 5 team in the East. Obviously, they had some injuries, but where is the scrutiny? I'm not trying to get a guy fired. I'm just saying there's got to be more pressure put on Nick Nurse.
Every time we're on, we talked about it, and they're caught in a position where he's the coach of Team Canada, so he can't.
That doesn't make a difference. If you got to do something, you can't think about Canada. You just got to move on. And it's not saying if they were to move him on or fire him, whatever. It's not saying he would not be Team Canada's coach. I mean, it would be a little awkward, but he would still have that contract. So you can't base it on what you do with Nick Nurse on Team Canada. You just have to get him to get more out of this roster. And what are they going to do next year? It's going to be the same kind of like.
I think Nick Nurse. I think Nick Nurse is gone this offseason. But that's the right or wrong decision. I also think the only reason to keep him is if your intent is to let Fred walk in this summer, and he moves into that starting role. I would have liked, Desmond Bain would have been nice. Would have been nice instead of Malachi Flynn. I think he would have got more minutes. But anyways, story for another.
All right, let's go. I'll start off with Drew because he is Captain Canada, stole that from me. Where's my royalties there? Raptors tonight at the Scotiabank Arena play right now a guy who should be Captain Canada, Shea. This guy, 30 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Like, this guy, is he, and I'm going to say this, and Drew, I know you're biased, so I'll ask Anthony after.
I'm not biased. What do you mean?
No, you're biased.
Is he
right now, as a youngster, top 5 in the NBA? I'm not talking about Giannis because Giannis is still not like a youngster. He's getting to be a veteran and all that. But as a youngster, is he top 5 in the NBA?
I mean, if he isn't, he's got to be close to it. I mean, which player in his age bracket is doing the things he's doing? Maybe Ja and a couple other players, obviously. But what he's doing this year, guys, is an absolute phenomenal display of basketball. I mean, somebody said it the other day. I think it was Isaiah Thomas or one of the guys on NBA TV said, this guy gives everybody the business. I mean, I've seen him give Jaylen Brown. I've seen him give the Celtics. I've seen him give every team pretty much in the NBA the business. And the best thing, guys, the best thing about SGA, and I've been around the kid for a while, the best thing right now, go to his Instagram page and read his captions. He is phenomenal with the captions on Instagram. He's even better on Instagram than he is in the league, and that is absolutely crazy. His last post, 35-7, guys, you got to read that. I was mind blown by that caption. Unreal. I think he loves KD,
what Captain Canada says? He does nothing all day but stay on Instagram and all that. Since you're on Instagram, you could promote Fired Up Network. You could promote Sports Fluent. You could promote the Player's Choice. You could promote instead of being on location everywhere. On Point Basketball. If you're going to be on, right, promote us.
I don't do free promo. Who's paying for the promo, buddy?
Anthony, give him the 10 cents that I pay you for the show. Come on.
I'll give it to you. Oof.
Oh boy!
All right, Anthony, what do you think of Shea?
Well, here's the thing. You asked the first question you asked was, is he top 5? That's a tough one because that top 5 is loaded, right? When you look at Doncic, Embiid, Jokic,
you put Tatum in that.
Giannis, right? Those 4. I think everyone agrees those 4 are there, right? Doncic, Embiid, Jokic, and Giannis. Those are the consensus.
Yeah, but he said they're not. He said Giannis isn't in that category.
Yeah. He said he wasn't.
Young players like
no. You're saying top 5 young players?
Young players, yes.
Of course, he's top 5. Yeah, of course. He's borderline top 5. Period.
Yeah, right now this year.
I don't think I think he's just on the outside looking in. But if you think about it, those are the 4. And then you've got the Tatums, the Mitchells, that there's Jaws, whatever. There's a bunch after those 4 that you can make a case for. So if you're just talking young players, sure, 100%. The guy's averaging 31, 6 and 5 on 51% shooting. He is phenomenal. And you can't even bring up record because everyone will say, well, but does his team win? Well, he's only won half a game back of Luka Doncic and the Mavericks. So you know what? They're in ninth.
Look where they are without Chet, without their number one pick. I mean, can you imagine how good this team is going to be in a year or two? And they got what, about 30 draft picks, guys?
Something like that. So yeah, I think 100%. He is definitely a top 5 young player. He's a top 10, borderline top 5
in the NBA
player. Period.
Especially this year.
Yeah, so he's playing out of his mind. He's playing phenomenal, and I don't think. Listen, I don't think Charlotte, I don't think LA knew what this kid was going to be when they let him end up in OKC. And you know what?
Clippers fans are still balling for SGA, man. I'm telling 100%. You, they're regretting that. Even though they got PG, they got Kawhi. I'm not sold on them. I don't think they'll win. I mean, you have a talent like SGA. Hey, he was in the national team system. He was playing here in Hamilton for a while. McNabb. Then he went down to Hamilton Heights, played with his cousin Nikhil Alexander Walker. Good to see Nikhil getting some minutes as well for Minnesota. Hasn't been hitting, but hopefully he can turn it around. But I'll be honest, guys. I knew Shea could play. I knew he was a good baller. He had the great length. I never saw this. I don't think a lot of people saw it. Some of the guys did. I know Rowan Barrett Sr., they believed him. The UPlay team, Dwayne Washington, they believed, because remember, they put him on the national team very young, and there was a lot of people in our basketball community saying, what the hell is going on? How can how old he was, 16, 17 or whatever, how can he be on the national team? And it turns out they were absolutely right. He has the work ethic. He's got that old man game that it's unexplainable. He gets to his spots. But if you really watch him closely, guys, he has a burst. He can put on a burst after that initial move, and he can actually get up and finish over top you as well. So don't be lulled into sleep, because Shea will put you on a poster if you're not careful. And you look at the three. It's not
I got to interrupt to ask you a question.
Yeah.
SGA, moving forward, you can only pick one, SGA or Ja.
I know who he's going to go with. Come on. He's Captain Canada. That's the obvious.
Yeah, but he's playing better than Ja. You have to put it that way. He's playing better than Ja. My only thing is, with Shea, guys, is can he stay on the floor? And the thing is, you could actually make that case for both of those players. Can Ja stay on the floor? Because the way he plays is reminiscent of Dwayne Wade. Attack with abandon, with reckless abandon. And guess what? You can't keep doing that because he's slight as it is, Ja. He's a small guy, and he's going to learn at some point. Somebody's going to whack him, and it's going to be like, hey, I got to change up my game a bit. But, man, that's a tough decision. I still at this point have to go with Ja, but I think it's just because I think he's a bit healthier than SGA.
All right. So now let's go to Canada basketball, because Raptors play Oklahoma tonight. Probably, it's a good game right now. We're watching it and all that. But 2 days ago, they played Denver. Some other Canadian in that team. Imagine how Canada, if they get everybody playing in the system forget about the coach. Because honestly, I'm going to say this. Since I'm the president of provinces of Canada, the mayor-elect of North America, the mayor considering running for the mayor of Toronto only if Anthony Kay gets my Greek voters. And Drew, are you going to get the voters or what? Come on. I want you door to door. Say you got to vote for the president of the provinces of Canada, the mayor-elect of North America, door to door. But imagine Canada. We talk about Jay being top 5 right now, and maybe even like Anthony said, top 5 in basketball. And they got Murray, who's just coming back from his injury, who's just hitting his stride. And obviously, we got other people there. Imagine if we come together with a proper coach. Because I'm going to say this. He's got an all-star team, Nick Nurse, in Canada. Will he play? Who's going to be the 9th man in Team Canada? Put it that way. Will he play them? Anyways, Drew, go ahead.
Will he know who they are? No, I mean, there's a commitment, guys. This next couple years, with including the World Championships that are happening this year, and also the Olympics. Hopefully Canada will make it. But there is a commitment of about 14 top players, including guys like RJ Barrett. Sad to see Clark go down for Memphis. I think he could have been a big part of that role playing big that they needed. But guys like Dwight Powell are still around. He's a guy that can fill a role. Canada has incredible talent. This year, what is there? 23 men and I think 26 women are in March Madness. So 50 players. I believe that's the all-time record. What Canada can put on the floor as far as this World Cup is going to be impressive. There's going to be pure NBA players in the mix, and this is going to be hopefully one of the best outcomes. It's going to be hard. Let's admit it. The World Championships are not like the FIBA Americas. You have teams, from Europe. You have teams from South America. Obviously, you have teams from Asia, all over the world coming together. So I'm praying for a good result for Canada. I'm hoping they can get in and go for even a bronze or a gold. It's going to be a super, super, super tough thing for them to pull off. But you never know. If they can get it together, as you said, and get the right pieces together, not every NBA player is going to make that team, but they need the right pieces. If they can put that together, they have a shot to possibly do some damage. But I'll tell you something, those European squads can shoot the lights out. And if you're not able to get out and close out on those threes and make them put it on the bounce, and even some of them can put it on the bounce and throw it down in your head, it's going to be a tough task. But I'm hoping Canada can have a good result this summer.
All right, Anthony, what do you think?
What was the question?
About Team Canada.
Sorry, I was caught up. I was caught up in the game. I was caught up in the game.
Which game were you watching? Which one?
I got the Raptors. I got to write the article about it. So sorry. Could say it again about Team Canada.
Team
Canada.
Okay, you're excused for that reason. All right. You're
going to ask me to write a detailed report.
Drew, so. I have the best writer of Raptor game reports in the world. Drew, you got to pick up your socks here. We got to do some Raptors roar once they're in the playoffs. You got to pick up your socks. You don't write for me. You hardly do shows for me. You're not getting advertising. You don't advertise.
I don't write.
Joe sounds like an ex-girlfriend that misses you.
Yeah, I don't
listen, you're gonna see him. You're gonna see him when you see him. But when we're talking about Team Canada, of course, we have the talent. Canada has been exploding onto the basketball scene over the last couple of decades, really since the Vince Carter effect, let's be honest.
Yes.
But we don't really get to see them play together. And I have question marks about their coach. Same questions I have for the Raptors. Is this the kind of coach that can bring a team together in days, not months? He doesn't have training camp. That can bring a team together in days and get them to play as a collective unit. No disrespect. He can't get his own team to play as a collective unit. So I'm hesitant.
You're biased. You're the number one coach in Canada.
Maybe that's where maybe they need to make a move. I am available. I am always for hire.
Let the president of provinces of Canada go. Your new agent. Listen, anybody. Wayne Paris is the guy who's Canada, right, Drew? Who's in charge of basketball Canada there?
Not Wayne Paris anymore.
All right, who was it?
It was 1967, Joe.
Michael's in charge now.
Okay, listen, anybody in Canada basketball, if you want to win, because Anthony K has Nike shoes right there. Just win, baby. Just do it. You got to replace Nick Nurse. First of all, a nurse is great. But a nurse, I don't see you winning with a nurse. You need doctors on the job. Doctor of thugonomics, that's Anthony K. Doctor of, I don't know what Drew is, Doctor of On Point. That's why he's on here. You need doctors to lead a team that could upset and could win. Canada, and Drew's going to single Canada as we leave here. But Canada, we expect big things, but the leader of Canada is the leader of Canada, and we're not confident in Nick Nurse anymore to lead a Canadian team or to lead the Toronto Raptors, the only Canadian team in the NBA. Now, Drew, Anthony, sit back because, I'm going to get you on for a couple minutes to discuss your Chicago Bears, all right? NFL Blitz is coming up soon here. But, Drew, we're in March Madness here, all right? And now I know that you have a March Madness routine. for people who don't know, listen to this, Anthony. Drew cuts his hair. Look at his hair now. Trims
No,
down
I'm
his
actually
beard.
growing my hair. I'm trying to grow it up.
Listen, I say you
I have
cut,
a
you
bet
grow,
going on.
whatever. The sky's gray, it's blue, whatever. Who cares? Nobody cares if you cut your hair.
I got a
just
bet
making
going
a
on.
point here. Now, he shaves, he cuts his hair, you cut your hair. All right? He goes to Mr. Sub or Subway to eat fresh. All right,
I don't
like
eat
real
subs.
fresh.
I'm gluten intolerant. I do not eat subs.
Oh, now he's gluten intolerant. Since last week.
Well, there I had you a Subway sponsorship, but now we gotta do something.
Unless
Whatever.
the gluten free
Bullway.
That's it.
All right, now listen.
Bullway.
Drew, okay. Drew, give me your final four in NCAA. Go ahead. Your final four. Listen to this, Anthony. This guy has been right.
It makes no difference what
This guy has been right since 1920. Do never pick his final four. Go the opposite way that he says it, because he never is right. Never. Opposite, he's always right.
Houston, UCLA, Alabama, Purdue. Those are my
now hold on. He picks UCLA because we have a good friend, Tracy Murray. He's biased. Now Houston, he likes Houston's colors or whatever, but Houston, come on, Houston. Who else did you say?
Alabama, one of the top teams, and they got a Canadian too.
Listen. Drew, you get confused with the Crimson Tide, Alabama, and NCAA football. All right, you're a little bit confused. And who's your other team?
I said Purdue has another Canadian on it. Zach Edey.
Yeah, Anthony, did you hear what he said? He picks all the Canadians in NCAA.
Houston, no Canadians there. Come on, what are you talking about?
Okay, go ahead.
And UCLA.
But UCLA, Tracy Murray, alum.
Come on, love my guy Tracy, but that's
UCLA Bruins.
I love Tracy, but that's not why I picked UCLA. Get out of here. What are you talking about?
You like the jersey light blue and yellow because you first of all, do you have any yellow shirts? That's your yellow belly sharecropper. You all right? So you're really picking those final fours. Are you excited?
Who's your final four? Tell me again.
Oh, I got Houston, I got UCLA, I got Purdue, and I got Bama.
One out of those four will make it. Trust me, Anthony. And
probably. Knowing my luck, I don't know. UCLA sometimes. I think this is the year. I like what they have. I like the pieces they have. What
about LSU?
I mean, I haven't I'll be honest, I haven't followed every single team. I've been kind of busy.
No, you're never busy. You're on Instagram. Stop being on Instagram all the time.
Hey, dude, that's part of what I do. I am on Instagram.
Part. How many part is it? 80% part or what? Part.
Not 80, but yeah, it's up there. I got to post content. That's what we do.
Yeah, post content. Have you ever posted content of the GTA Mavericks? The one I told you to do for about a month already. Have you ever posted comments about the GTA Mavericks?
Hey, listen, it's okay. He's going to make it up to us. He's going to make it up to us because he's not going to come to the game. He's not going to do any coverage. Drew is going to bring On Point Basketball on June 17th. He's going to bring it to we're doing a shoe drive to provide shoes to underprivileged kids. We're in association with, they're supporting us, Giants of Africa, the 905, the Raptors. They're all going to send representatives there to help us with our shoe drive. It's June 17th. On Point is now on the hook to be there. There you go. So don't worry about the rest of the stuff.
Don't worry about Joe. I got my final pick for
details to follow.
Anthony, I'm throwing this in.
That's amazing, man.
Producer, zoom it in here. You see in the back of Drew, there's boxes.
He's got the shoes. He's ready. Yeah, he's got the shoes.
The shoes and everything like that. I want you. When is that?
Those are not for sale, buddy. Those ones
are not for sale. Listen to me, I'm the president. June 17th, right? You just said June 17th. That is Father's Day. In honor.
Sign up, Fired Up. They're a sponsor now. There's Fired Up sponsoring you.
You're part of Fired Up. I got news for you. I'm sending you. You're on assignment. Today is March 7th. Well, tomorrow, St. Patrick's Day. By the way, Drew, you got the memo of wearing green. I don't see green on you. That's why I carry the cash. All right. So June 17th, you are going part of the Fired Up Network. You're going to take one of the shoe. One. The other one, I'm drinking beer for one of the new shoes, all right? Yes, not one beer, not two beers.
What if it's an old shoe? Would you drink beer out of an old shoe?
One pair of your shoes. You're going to take it one pair of your shoes.
Would you drink beer out of an old shoe?
Listen to me. Stop cutting me off. You're going to donate.
It's not Father's Day, by the way.
It's when's Father's Day?
Father's Day is the 18th, the Sunday. This is the
All right,
Saturday.
it's Father's Day weekend. Now this guy, I'm promoting him, and now look. All right,
just
listen.
correcting you. I don't want people to show up on Sunday.
Yeah, usually on the Sundays, Father's Day.
So look, you going down on June 17th, you're going to take not one pair, 2 pairs of shoes. 2 pairs of shoes. One to give away and one to give to your tag team partner, Anthony K. What size are you? Anthony, what size are you?
13. He's a 12.
13.
I can't take it.
Drew, you have any 13s there? I know you just said you have 12. Don't lie. You have thousands and thousands and thousands of shoes there. You have to have a size 13.
What are you, a wrestler?
If you don't, go out to Foot Locker, buy some, 13. That's right. Ric Flair even agrees with that. All right. So, Drew, come on. Are you excited? Forget about the shoe.
Excited.
We'll talk about June 17th.
Hyped for that.
Are you excited about March Madness? Is it going to be madness? Are you excited for March Madness leading into WrestleMania 39 weekend?
Yeah, March Madness is going to be great. It's going to be fun. A lot of Canadians in the mix, as I said, about 50 in total between the girls and guys. Let's see them do it. We got Aaliyah Edwards. We got Letitia Amier on South Carolina.
Hold on, the Final Four on the men's side. Come on, we got to give equal rights to the ladies.
Yeah, that's going to be a little difficult for me to
just pick and don't be difficult. Don't scratch your hair. Just pick 4 teams.
What?
Oh my God.
4 teams. Oh my goodness. Go ahead. You go. You tell me your 4 teams first, and then we'll pick mine.
I want to know.
There you go.
I want to know your 4 teams.
Oh my goodness.
I want to know your 4 teams.
Put it this way. I don't need to do a Final Four. South Carolina is going to repeat as national champions.
I agree.
Letitia Amier is going to get her 2nd national championship. I'll tell you that. Book that right now. There is nobody. Like I said, nobody going to beat the South Carolina Gamecocks and Coach Don Staley. That's all you need to know. There ain't no Final Four with South Carolina in it. They are taking the women's championship. You heard it right here first.
There you go.
Mic drop.
So, no,
Aaliyah Boston, who's going to beat her?
In other news, the UCLA Bruins will upset Carolina en route to their national championship on the women's division.
Yeah, listen to this guy, what he's talking about. He's sports fluent. He hasn't watched NCAA in about 10 years.
Yes, but my good friend is the strength and conditioning coach at UCLA for the women's basketball team, and he is very good at his job, so they will be in tip-top shape to go all the way.
All right, so we're going to close it out here, but I'll give Drew put the shot clock on him to Anthony.
Shout out to Stuart Hart. Keep doing a good job. Yes, go ahead.
Stuart Hart.
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously, actually, 905 are playing today as well. They're playing Lakeland. Caleb Houston, who we did a feature on last year, he is actually with the big club, so he's not here in Saga. Congrats to Zach Edey. I mean, he's racking up awards.
Big ups to Zach Edey. Big ups.
Big ups to Zach Edey. I remember when he first kind of started playing ball a few years ago. He was a baseball player, and to see what he's done, unbelievable. I hope he's going to be able to carry it over to the NBA. We spoke a bit about it before. Could have a bit difficulty with the foot speed and with help him recover in the NBA. It's such a wide open game. But if anybody can be a factor, I think Zach has shown to put in the work. And shout out all the Canadians playing in March Madness. I'm about to, go ham the next 2.5 weeks on that as well. And just been great. We just finished our circuits. We had our 3 championships. The NJC won by Brampton City Prep North. They took out Excel Hoops, who won it last year. And on the senior circuit side, we had ONLX out of Ottawa, because these are national championships. They took it over a Quebec team as well. The St. Laurent Express
team. Isn't this your platinum circuit? You don't even know what Quebec team it was?
No, I was trying to say to you, it was St. Laurent Express took second, and in our platinum circuit championship, Cali Prep took down Code Prep in the champions. So we had 3 champions crowned national champions this weekend in our circuits. Look for big things next year. You can find me on pointbasketball.com, on Point Basketball on Instagram, Drew Ebanks on Twitter.
All right, hold on. Drew, I'm putting you on the spot again. Anthony has a show Thursday night, 9 p.m. It's Sports Fluent, but it's the player's choice, right, Anthony?
Fluent and chill.
Fluent and chill. When you're already, I don't know when you're going to cover the GT and Mavericks. You're going to do, you're going to give a pair of shoes away June 17th. We'll talk more about it. But when are you going to be on Fluent and Chill here? Because you have to request permission from me. Be allowed.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I'd love to come on it. I know I won't make it tonight because I'm going.
You can't come today.
It's March Madness.
Today, March Madness. No one's watching March Madness from 9:30 to 10 o'clock because Fluent and Chill for that half an hour. We have the millions and millions of fans who watch Flat Earth Dave will be on to try and convince us that the Earth is flat. We're gonna be talking about basketball before, basketball after, but from 9:30 to 10. Why the Earth is flat.
No, that's DDP. You feel the bang. Like all right. So look. So listen.
Flatten the Earth with that.
Hold on. I got an answer for that. Look at Drew's head. Is it flat or not?
No, it's as round as the globe.
So it's not. There's the answer being flat. The Earth being flat. Drew, what do you say?
I'm growing it right now.
How much are you going to grow it out? What are you growing it out for?
Well, I have a bet. One of my friends bet me that I couldn't grow a fro, a 2-inch afro, and I'm like, I'm 2 weeks in. And I haven't really shaped it up. I'm just letting it grow.
Hold on, go down. Let's see.
And I'm about half an inch already. He just didn't think I had hair to grow because I like to cut it low. But wait, I got till mid-June, guys. You're going to see something come mid-June. My hair is going to be out
here. We're going to do this. Work on somebody who mid-June, like June 17th, okay?
There you go. We'll do the great unveil of the
around there. Sure. Yeah, I should definitely have
June
it.
18th or whatever, he gets a haircut for charity, gives Anthony a pair of shoes.
I'm not going to cut it, man. I'm not going to cut it. I'm going to keep it. No, I'm keeping it for a while.
What do you think you're keeping it? I like to see this. How long do you think? I don't know. In all honesty,
we all go through these phases. Listen, when COVID started,
this guy's 62 years old. What do you mean?
I told them I could grow. I told them I could grow my hair. They didn't believe it.
I bald right off, and I said I'm not cutting it until COVID is over. So you can see the pictures of my hair down to here. I normally wore it up. You gotta go through the phases. Grow it out, man. Enjoy it.
I'm growing out for a bit, man. So I was on air with a fro at one point at Global TV as well. That was hilarious.
There you go.
Yep.
I don't remember that. I must have been choked up on some hair. All right. So go ahead, Anthony. Tell everybody how they can check out your show and tell them how to get a hold of you.
Easy. It's easy. Twitter, TikTok, IG. It's all just sports_fluent. You can go to sportsfluent.com if you want to see the shows. So PC Gridiron, which is the football show on Wednesdays, or Fluent and Chill on Thursdays, or the panel, that's the big show, on Tuesdays. Those are all on the Player's Choice. If you go to YouTube, look up Player's Choice, you'll see us there.
And by the way, Anthony will be back in just a few minutes to discuss everything going on in the NFL, including Drew's crappy Philadelphia Eagles. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, Joe. Thanks.
That was NBA Jump Ball March Madness talk with Drew Ebanks, Captain Canada, and Anthony K getting you more sports. It should be interesting to see how Drew grows his afro, because I've been told Drew always comes up a little bit short. All right, I want to do a little bit shout outs here again. Special shout out to Alexis. Special shout out to Charlotte. No, not Charlotte Flair. Woo! Charlotte Flair. WrestleMania, Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley. Good match. All right. I want to do it. And I got to say this. He's getting his moisturizer ready. He's cut his nose hairs, his ear hair. His hair is pristine. Billy the Greek. Yes, Billy the Greek will be on here around 9:15 to cause some trouble. With the grizzled young veteran who better have shaved his goatee, because my goatee, and Marty Roberts, the grizzled young veteran. St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow. We're going to have a little bit of competition. See here? All right. It's vodka, not red wine. All right. Vodka. You like vodka, smeared off, whatever off. Come on. All right. Marty Roberts going to be here next segment after in about an hour with professional hockey player for the Toronto Six, our Premier Hockey Federation, Taylor Woods. We're going to talk about the Toronto Six playoff time beginning tomorrow. But before we do that, and again, I want to do another special shout out to my niece, Alyssa, whose birthday is today, and Giancarlo Lino, his birthday is today. Switch around the numbers. That's how old Drew is. Giancarlo's 26, and Drew is 62. Yes, a 62-year-old man gonna grow some. Let's see. He always comes up a little bit short. Let's see what he does there. Again, special shout out to Charlotte and Alexis. Hopefully you enjoy the show. And another shout out, Peter Mansbridge. Yes, Peter Mansbridge is watching the show. Peter, anytime you want to come on, we'll be happy to have you. Especially, I could tag team you up with me, Marty Roberts, Grizzled Young Veteran, and Billy. But Billy, he'll shout out a lot. He gets nervous because he doesn't get a word edgewise there. But I'm gonna ask Billy his thoughts on Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 39, April 1st, April 2nd, which, by the way, I've been told today somebody named Patricia will not be watching both nights. I gotta lay the smack down. I gotta suplex her, body slam her, whatever. All right. So speaking about her, of course, part of the Fired Up Network is female empowerment movement, and each and every week we have the Renaissance Mama, Courtney Riddell, who graces us with that good show. She's coming up right now. Next here, the Renaissance Mama with Courtney Riddell. Here we go with that. And then we'll have Anthony K once again.
Hi, friends. I'm Courtney. I'm a performer, speaker, and a writer. I'm a mama to 3 crazy boys and a super sweet dog. I decided 12 years ago that I needed to create a business that worked for me instead of me working for it. I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur who may be considered a serial entrepreneur by some, but then I realized that all of my businesses focused on connection, community, and creating an incredible experience. I cannot wait to share with you how to make small but mighty changes in your life to affect your overall well-being and create a life and business you want to get up in the morning for. That's right, my friends. I am the Renaissance Mama. Hi, friends. It's Courtney, the Renaissance Mama, and I want to thank you so much for checking out the show. Whether you're listening to the podcast, maybe you're watching the show, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to check it out. So I've been chatting with a lot of people lately, and what I found out is so many people are just struggling with their business. They're struggling to get new clients. They're struggling to connect with their clients. They're struggling to create social media content, and they aren't getting the people to their business, which means then they are not selling their products or their services, and they're just not hitting the goals that they want to hit. So when I start chatting with a few of these customers and clients and really getting down to the nitty gritty of things, they're figuring out that they are just having a hard time standing out. They're having a hard time, showing up on social media. They're not getting any engagement. They're having a hard time advertising or sharing their business because they just feel like they are 1 in a million. People aren't noticing them. Doesn't matter how much, effort they put in, people aren't finding them. They're not connecting with them. And then their business is not growing. So I took a closer look at a few of these businesses and clients and friends of mine. And what I was noticing is that they didn't have a very clear business message. So I thought today that's what we're going to chat about. We are going to chat about not only the importance, but how we can really break down what your business message is. And if you are sending out the right message out in the world, are you connecting with the right people? Are you speaking their language? Are you meeting them where they're at? There's so many pieces to this puzzle that if we just throw out, a bunch of words or jargon that really doesn't align with who we are, what our business is, or what we want our business to be, well then of course, no wonder people can't find us. No wonder no one's connecting with us because we're not very clear with who we are and what we're representing and what that business is. Once you get clear on that, the rest falls into place. It makes social media content creation so much easier. It makes even just having conversations with people about your business so much easier. I don't know about for you, but for years when people would ask me, oh, Courtney, what do you do? And I go, well, I kind of do this. And it felt so vague. It felt like I was fake. It felt like I was just kind of like, oh, I do all these things, but I wasn't clear on what I wanted to achieve. I wasn't clear on, what I was all about. And it wasn't that I was embarrassed because I wasn't. I loved all the things I do. I loved my project, but it was hard for me to explain to people, especially in a short amount of time. I find sometimes too, I get very much in my head of these people don't actually care what I'm doing. They're just being polite. So I would just give them sort of a polite response. But what if instead of that, I was just honest all the time? I had, what my business was all about, and I would share it, and then they would know. And if it was for them, they'd be excited. And if it wasn't, that's fine too. If they were just being polite, then they can go on their merry little way. It's fine. But you never know who you are talking to. You never know who they know or who might really need your service or business. So you should just be that open, honest, and clear all the time when you're sharing who you are, what you do, and what your business is all about. So that's what I thought we'd chat about today, is just that importance of that business message, how you can get super clear on what your message to be, how sometimes your message might change and it adapts and it grows, and that's okay too, as long as you know what it is and it aligns with who you are and what your goals are. Okay, so the first thing I want you to think about when you're thinking about your business message is your business message is not your why. Your why is very, very important. And I've talked about it before on this show. I've had guests come on and chat about it. Your why is the thing that keeps you motivated when days get hard. Your why is the thing that you want to overcome. It might be the thing you want people to achieve. Your why is what keeps you going. Your why can very much make you unique, and it very much can help you stand out from the crowd because your why is going to be different from somebody else's why. The why is very, very key, but the why shouldn't be your business message. It's very connected. So you need to know what your why is. You need to be clear. You need to feel it. It needs to be something that really resonates with you. But your why doesn't necessarily you don't want it to necessarily be your business message. Sometimes when I'm thinking business messages, your why is personal. It might be a little bit more emotional. It might have that connection, which makes it beautiful and human and something that people want to, know, like, and trust. But it might be too much when you're just throwing it out there all the time as a business message. A business message, I want it as a nice little reminder of who you are. I want people to think of oh, Courtney, and then that business message. Or if you're business, oh, they do this or they do that. You want that business message to be connected with your why and what you're all about, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the why. The why is still something you need to work on. And if you haven't figured that out yet, oh, it's so important. It's part of, just connects. It connects who you are to your business, to your people, and people are able to see through that. People are able to see when the why is not making genuine sense. When somebody just throws out, oh, I do this because of this, people know when it's not real. So make sure your why is really connected with what you are doing, what it's all about. Sometimes when I'm thinking business message and I'm thinking about my why and I know why I'm doing what I'm doing, my business message is more of like, okay, well, what is the outcome I want for my ideal people? What is something that really, lights me up? What is something that I'm passionate about? And maybe it's passion in the sense of like, yes, I get creative and excited, but maybe it's a passion of like, I cannot stand for something to happen anymore. That same passion can be an amazing source when you're talking business and you're talking your message and you're talking about, who you are and what you represent. So maybe you start with there. Maybe start with, okay, I know my why. Get very clear, write it down, put the post-it, see the visual. This is why I do what I do. Now, what is about this that makes me really excited? Write that passion, write that flame, write that thing that lights you up. Or like I said, maybe it's, I am so tired of this happening for people and that makes me excited. That makes me angry. That gets me going. And then the third thing I would write is, what is the outcome? What am I doing that I'm going to help my ideal person achieve? What is the goal for them? What is my vision for them? What do I want to happen for them? It's not about me. My business message shouldn't really be about me because the why is about me. The why is what I'm doing. I know why I'm doing it because I got that super clear on that. But what is it for them? What is their outcome? And how does that align with my passion as well? So that's the first thing I would look at. Just remember that your why needs to be very clear. But it's not your message. Your why is not your message. It's part of your message. It's part of your whole package and who you are and how you represent yourself. So it's very ingrained and you want it to align. That is obviously the end goal. The worst would be is if you have a why you're doing something and then this message that don't align. They don't make sense. People, once again, will see right through that and just feel like, this doesn't feel right. This is no good. I don't want this. So make sure you know your why, but your why cannot be your business message. Okay, so the second thing you're thinking about when you are creating that beautiful, beautiful business message is, of course, your ideal customer. Who are you talking to? What are they all about? What are the problems? What are their struggles? What do they need? How do they get their information from you? How do they learn about you? Where do they hang out? You want to know everything you can about this ideal customer. And you want to get as specific as you can as possible. I had a client the other day who was like, oh yeah, I know my ideal customer. I got this down. My ideal customer is a busy mom. Okay, a busy mom and, she's a mom who's busy. I'm like, well, okay. You need more details. Who is this busy mom? Is she a new mom? Is she a mom of multiples? Does she have a full-time job? Does she have a part-time job? Does she have a side hustle? Is she a single parent? Is she, looking to start a business? Is she a business owner? What else is about this busy mom? Because there's so many busy moms in the world, but what is the next thing that you're trying to help that busy mom with? If you are trying to maybe show her an opportunity for a potential side hustle, then you're looking for a busy mom who may be tired of her current job. Maybe you're looking for a busy mom who wants more time freedom with her family. Maybe you're looking for a busy mom who, I don't know, but you need to get a little bit more specific. So when I started chatting with this client and we really started breaking down this version of her busy mom, is we were able to decide actually the busy mom she thought she wanted to talk to was not really her ideal client. In fact, she wanted to connect with the busy mom who is also this like boss who, wants some extra income, but is very highly motivated, who, has great connections, who is doing this for a different reason. So that's very different from the busy mom who is, maybe just on maternity leave and looking to start something so she doesn't have to go back to work. They're both busy moms, but they are very, very different people. And the way you are going to connect with them are going to be very, very different. And the message you want to provide to those two busy moms is very, very different. So you want to get so clear on who that ideal customer is. And once you get very clear on who they are, you got to know, are you talking their language? And I'm not just talking actual language. I'm like their tone, how they interpret things. Are you providing them content or information on, a way that they're going to be able to take it in? I love creating my show, but I also know my show, I don't want it longer than, sometimes I've gone 45 minutes. That was too long though. I don't want it longer than 45 minutes. 45 minutes is way too long for me. I like that half an hour to 35-minute mark because I am looking for those, once again, busy moms, but I am looking for those busy moms that I know do not have tons of time in their day, that they're putting in their AirPods, they're watching the show, and they don't have an hour to sit down and listen to it all. They don't have that time frame. So I want to give them their information. I want to go in, out, have a few fun stories, and then I'm done for the day. That is who I'm connecting with. So I wouldn't create something for them that's going to take them 2 hours to listen to or watch. I also probably wouldn't create something for them that's only 5 minutes because they want that little bit more. They want that engagement. They want to learn. They want some steps. They want some strategies. I want to connect with them on their level. So I want to have the language that they would appreciate. I also decided when I started my podcast that it was going to be conversational. It was going to be me chatting with my friends because that's who I wanted to bring in. I never wanted to be an expert. I never wanted things to be perfect. And it actually really helps me when I am inviting people onto the show and guests and people who have never done shows before. And I say, listen, my audience does not expect perfection. My audience hopefully appreciates that I am just that Renaissance mama, that I'm doing all the things that I do, but I'm also doing it in a way that is real. I am not going to show up with picture perfect makeup and hair and backdrop and all the things because that's not what I want to show up as. That's not the message I'm providing. I want to be the everyday mama listening to your podcast. Maybe you're starting your business on the side and I am hoping to give you the tips and tricks. And then I throw in some parenting advice. Oh, I don't know if it's advice, but it's parenting stories. It's parenting adventures that I have had. I want that kind of connection. So when I can talk to my guests coming on the show and they realize, oh, I don't have to know all the answers. I don't have to be picture perfect. I don't have to be any of those things. They are so much relieved. They're so happy to be on a show that is what it is. And I'm very clear with that and they appreciate that. So once again, when you know your ideal client, you know how they speak, you know how they want to take in your content, you know how you're going to connect to them, you know where they are out there in, on social media, maybe where they are in the world, where they hang out, what they do, what their hobbies are. The more you know about them, the better you can connect. And then when you provide them with that business message, It's easy because you know who they are. You know what they're all about. You can share that business message. You can share that outcome you want to provide for them. And they're like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And they're excited. And then it just all works out perfectly. All right. So now you know your why, you know your ideal customer, you know how they talk, you want to connect with them. The next thing you want to do with your business message is I would just start a brainstorm. So I would just write down all the things that I want this ideal customer to achieve with my product or my service. Or when you're listening to my podcast, this is what I hope you get with the end of it. This is what I want you to achieve. This is what I want you to get out of it. And then after I do that big brain drop of all my ideas, I want to see what words are really jumping out at me. And I'm still thinking in the mind of my ideal customer. So what are words that they are really going to gravitate towards? What are words that are really going to grab their attention? And you want to keep your business message simple and short. I don't know if you ever were stuck in an experience, whether it's a conference or a networking event, where we used to do those like 1 minute elevator pitches, and you'd be like, okay, I'm so-and-so and I do this for these people and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And that was your elevator pitch. You had to be like, do it as quick as possible, get all your points across, and somehow be engaging, which I found was really difficult to do. And a lot of people had a hard time at it, and it just didn't read that well. And then it was like Twitter came out and you had to be able to somehow do your whole elevator pitch in like one line with X amount of characters. So your business message, you kind of want it somewhere in between that. You don't want a long elevator pitch that's kind of jammed all the ideas into one, but you do want it simple enough that just who you are, what you're about is there, and you're able to share it with people, and you're using those words that might really attract them, and that also resonate with you. Like, don't go out and just find buzzwords that seem like something you should be saying. I find so many times new businesses in particular are, taking these really popular words and saying and using them, and you're like, well, why? Does that really align with who you are and what you're all about? Or is it something that you think you should do because you saw someone else doing it, so you kind of borrowed it from them? So I would just start with that mega list of like all what you are, what you're all about. Find words that you see that are repeating themselves. Find words that your ideal audience will connect with, but also try and avoid words and kind of jargon that just doesn't align with you or that feels out of place. Anytime I was ever performing and I was given a script, and when words don't feel right in your mouth coming out of your vocabulary because they just seem foreign. So if you're thinking of this business message and you try and read it over and over again, and it doesn't feel like you're saying it, I would say then there's an issue. Then there's something about that's not reading 100% true. So maybe there's another word you can put in instead. Maybe there's something else that's a little bit more you that will really resonate with your audience. The next thing you need to do is, once you have a business message that you're like, okay, I'm ready to share with the world, you need to test it out. Don't think that the first thing you're going to throw out there might be the absolute end game. You want to try with your audience. So maybe you're creating 2 or 3 different kinds of social media with a different verbiage and putting it out in the world, seeing what is getting engagement, seeing where people are connecting. And if there's any way you can actually survey your ideal audience, maybe you create a poll, maybe you create a survey, maybe you throw it out in the world and then you book a few calls afterwards. I find it is so important to really ask your ideal audience what they are connecting with, and if the message is clear. Sometimes you think you're trying to share something or tell somebody something, and even when you think you are very, very clear, they might be interpreting it a little bit differently. They think you meant this or think that. So really connecting with your ideal audience and figuring out what they like about that message. Maybe there's something they don't like about that message and kind of reworking it. Don't take any of it personal. Remember, this is a process. But once you have that message and you have it so clear and you're able to then create all of your content and your services and you're able to share who you are, not only that, but then people are able to share it for you. Isn't that the end goal? Is other people helping you out, being like, oh yeah, so-and-so's business, they do this and they do that for you. And then this happens. Like, to be able to have somebody do that kind of word of mouth, and it can be word of mouth on social media, right? So many times that happens as well, is we see somebody share something on social media and we're like, oh my goodness, I need that too. And it just goes from there. So the better that your message is, the clearer it is, the more it aligns with your ideal customer, then they will be able to share it for you. So test with them, see what's working, see what's not working, see where you can make some adjustments and continue the process. The next thing I want you to think about when you are sharing that business message is if there's any way within your business message that you are sharing that ideal outcome for your ideal customer. And not just like sharing it, but really helping them visualize what it would look like. I had a client of mine who was a sleep therapist, and she was teaching parents how to their children on a sleep schedule. And she would share, oh, is your baby crying? Is this happening? Do you want a more routine? Do you want this? Do you want that? And parents were agreeing, like obviously they're tired, they understood. But when she changed the wording of her message, when she was able to actually like share the visualization of, you will achieve more sleep. You will be able to think clearly again. You will be able to, enjoy your work and your life again. You will be able to this, that, whatever that outcome is. Let me help you, teach your kids to sleep, or whatever your message is, but really helping your ideal customer imagine what that end goal is, really helping them sort of see the thing that they really want, and then how you are going to get them there, how your product's going to help them get there, how your service is going to help get them there, and that you guys are like partners in this. You guys are working together, so your ideal person will then achieve that outcome. The last thing I want you to think about too, when you're thinking about your business message, is once you've got one that you're pretty confident with, you've tested it out, it aligns with your why, it, makes sense for your ideal customer, you need to repeat. Rome was not built in a day, my friend. And I find sometimes, especially when we are sharing businesses or ideas or products or services or a new launch or a new event, whatever it may be, we get down on ourselves pretty quickly, right? We share it once, we share it twice, we share it maybe even 10 times. And then we're like, oh my God, this isn't working. I'm over it. It's not worth it. It's done. No, my friends, you need to repeat. Share it and share it again. Share it in a different way. Change up how you're sharing it. Are you creating images? Are you creating videos? Are you on a variety of different social media platforms? And I know I say always start with one and get comfortable, but you want just seen it when they were corresponding with me, or seen on my logos, or seen it, in my pictures, or whatever it may be. It's that repetition that people will remember and connect with, and really start associating you and your business message. And if it's a message they like, then hopefully they will come to you. I hope you enjoyed this episode, my friends. I hope it's giving you a little bit more clarity on not only how powerful a business message can be, but how you can break it down, think about these few easy steps, and create something that you are proud of, that you're excited about, that you're able to share with people, that you're able to put in a quick little line so people know who you are, what you're about, and how you are going to help them, how you are going to create the outcome that they have always dreamed about. So I would love to hear from you guys. I want to keep this conversation going. Can you hop on therenaissancemama.com, or if you're on Instagram, it's Courtney Renaissance Mama. I would love to hear from you. What is your business message? What do you share? What do you do? What is so special about you? I want to learn about you. I want to know more, and maybe I want to share with my audience. I want to share who you are and what you do. So let me know, connect with me, and that is all for now, friends. Bye for now.
Thank you to Courtney Riddell, the Renaissance Mama, here each and every week on the Fired Up Network, female empowerment movement, part of the Fired Up Network. Now, Anthony K, Sports Fluent, is back, this time talking about NFL on NFL Blitz. Here we go with Anthony K on NFL Blitz. Hello, everybody. This is Joseph Hasek, and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to NFL Blitz with Sports Fluent himself, Anthony K. I had to have him on. He did NBA jump ball, but let's get to NFL Blitz because his team, the Chicago Bears, we speculated on this week, did trade the number one pick to who? To the Carolina Panthers. Go ahead. What do you think of the trade? And they already got somebody else from the Panthers, their number one wide receiver. And Chicago spending like you do when people should be spending on you June 17th for your drive. Go ahead.
Well, we'll start with the Bears and listen. There was a couple of scenarios where the Bears were trading their picks. A lot of people were offering 3 first-round picks, but no player. There was talk about them trading down twice. Obviously, that didn't happen. But you got to be happy with the trade to get 2 first-round picks, second-round pick, and then DJ Moore. DJ Moore, 5 seasons in Carolina. 5 seasons in Carolina, 5,000 yards. Do you know how many Bears as a Bear, how many Bear receivers in the history since 1902, how many 5,000-yard receivers the Bears have had?
0.
1. And you got to go back to 1957. It's been a long time since someone has come in. So can DJ Moore get 5,000 yards as a Bear in the next 4 or 5 years? Let's hope so. But he's definitely now a number one wide receiver to go along with Claypool and Mooney. And now Herbert, who has emerged as the starting running back, and Kmet, who's going to be their tight end. So you're happy with that trade. What I'm more happy with is, as I've said, they've got the draft capital because they have a lot of holes. Well, they have holes on defense. What do? They signed Edmonds. They signed Edwards, a couple of nice linebackers. They get DeMarcus Walker on the D-line. The other side of the ball, they have some issues. Well, actually, Patrick Scales, let's not forget him as well. But on the O-line, they have holes. They get Nate Davis from the Indianapolis Colts. They get Iceland. So they add a couple of offensive linemen. Those are picks where they didn't overpay. So you saw some of these players getting huge contracts. No, they figured out their needs. They found the best available player at a reasonable price. So they're filling all their holes really nicely in free agency with really good, talented young players on offense and on defense. A couple of smaller moves, Travis Homer's now coming in from Seattle as a backup running back. Okay. The one interesting one, it's weird. This is a weird one for me because I never talk about fullbacks. Only 5 or 6 player teams, in the NFL even utilize a fullback. But they signed Kerry Blasingame, who's a fullback. He's a utility guy, but he's listed as a fullback. Does that mean they're going to use a fullback? I hope so, because a fullback, like I said, not utilized a lot, but it shows, a commitment to protecting that that quarterback, focusing on the running game. And that's what they're going to have to do when you play in Chicago. That's how you got to win. You got to have a rushing attack to set up the pass. So everything they've done this offseason right now, unless you're, and this isn't the homer pick because I'm a Bears fan. If you look at it objectively, I think most people will say, if not the best, one of the best off seasons to date for any team. Look, people are going to say the Jets because they got Aaron Rodgers, or I got some Saints fans who are very high on Derek Carr for some reason. But I think the Bears have done the best job when you include the draft capital that they were able to put together and the signings that they've made.
And you know what? Maybe you just talked about it. Maybe the best move they did, they didn't even do it. Aaron Rodgers, their killer, the guy who owns Chicago, no pun intended, owns Chicago, has decided that he is not going to retire. He wants to play in New York. Whether it's a smart move, whatever, but it takes away a
out
big
of the NFC North. Thank you.
Yeah, that Chicago should be thanking him. Put it that way. Takes away a big opposition, and for that matter, Minnesota releasing one of their best wide receivers. Also, and maybe Chicago should look into getting Adam Thielen. So that's another thing that there's another guy who causes trouble for Chicago there, and Detroit, Chicago, and like all that. But Chicago, you're right. Maybe even A plus, but definitely A so far in free agency. Now, and so as far as Edmonds was very good and underrated for Buffalo Bills. He'll be put in a spot with Chicago that he'll flourish. Trust me on this one. He did what he's supposed to do in Buffalo, but he was undervalued. I'm telling you, Chicago is going to get a stud, or getting a stud in their defensive front there. So Chicago, and you know what? It's only the first couple days of the new season, and Chicago has made moves, big moves. Now I got to go to Aaron Rodgers. All right. Aaron Rodgers, whether he gave them a list, whether he just said, oh, okay, get this guy, that guy, or whatever. The trade hasn't happened yet as we're doing this right now. Okay. The trade hasn't happened. It's going to happen. Green Bay and the Jets. Now, knowing that it's already out, that you're going to New York, you're the Green Jay general manager, who would you take from New York? Would you just take picks?
It's going to end up just being picks. But look, if I really want to, it depends. Am I being nice? Am I trying to help Rodgers get to where he wants to go? Then I'm just taking picks. Am I trying to be a jerk? And then I'm saying, what? I want Sauce, or I want Garrett Wilson. Right now, that's not realistic. But I'm asking the question. I can make this as difficult or as easy for the team and for Aaron Rodgers as I possibly want to, because he's still under contract. He is still a Green Bay Packer unless I trade you. So I think they'll get a package of a couple of picks, maybe a fringe player more so than a name, but you never know. Maybe that's why it's taken so long.
All right, the other side, he goes to New York. He goes to I'm going to say my division in the AFC East. You got Buffalo there, who right now they're number one team. Miami's improving. The Jets, with who they're going to sign and all that, okay, and you got New England, which they still got Belichick. They're still want to make moves and all that. What do you think Aaron Rodgers can do in New York?
They're a 500 team. They're third in that division. That's what they're going to be. It's going to be 9-8, 8-9, and they're still behind Miami and Buffalo. And they better watch out for the Patriots. Not that Juju Smith-Schuster is a big pickup, but the Patriots have started to make some moves as well. You're assuming Mac Jones is going to come back better and healthy. It's a Bill Belichick run team. You assume the defense is going to get better, right? Like it's safe to make those assumptions because we've seen it for 20 years. He has blips. Okay, fine. They haven't been the same since Brady, of course. But yeah, so that they're not going to be a bad team. They're probably going to be right there fighting with the Jets for that third spot. So and if you look at their division, if you look at their schedule, now we don't have who they're going to play and when, but if we do know the road games and the away games, they're playing the AFC West, which means they're going to play Kansas City. They're going to play the Chargers. I'm going to go like this. Okay, they get Oakland too. So there's Las Vegas, excuse me. But then they also get and Denver. So it's not like if you look at their schedule, aside from the AFC West, it's still a tough schedule. They still have to play Buffalo twice. They got to play Miami twice. They got to play the Patriots twice. It's not a gimme for them. And if what I predict to come true, Miami's going to be really good if they sign that retired quarterback that I keep thinking they are.
So you talked about the Raiders, and let's go to Jimmy G now signing with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, Jimmy G, if there's a team that can, with Jimmy G, Las Vegas, okay, do you think he's going to be somewhat distracted, or can he do the job in Las Vegas? Because Jimmy G, when he's on, not during the playoffs, when he's on, he's got a great record during the regular season. And he's got, his coach was in New England, McDonald's. So could be a fit there. What do you say?
I don't trust Jimmy G. I don't trust Josh McDaniels. I don't trust the Raiders team. They tricked me last year, and I'm not falling for it again. This is going to be the dead last team in the AFC West. It's going to be shambles. I think the repercussions of what Josh McDaniels did to Darren Waller that led to his exit, leaking the wedding, and subsequently Darren Waller asks to be traded and gets traded to the Giants because of it. That's confirmed, by the way. That's not a rumor. That's not. I have that straight from. We have that straight from Darren Waller's mouth through his, through someone, through our source. I guess I don't want to give who it is. But that being said, yeah, the Raiders are. What has Josh McDaniels shown you that he can be a good coach? Nothing. He failed in Denver, and he took a Raiders team that looked really good 2 seasons ago with all the chaos going on, with all the coaching stuff with Gruden and the off the field stuff with some of their players. They kept it together and they looked really good. They were supposed to build on it last year. They brought in Devontae Adams and got worse. So no, I don't care whether it's a fit or not fit. This team's not going to be good this year. And let's be honest, Jimmy G's, he's hurt. He misses as much time as Chris Paul in the playoffs. So he's not even going to be there half the time.
So you mentioned a retired quarterback or whatever. I'm not going to talk about him, but I want to talk about some guy in Baltimore. All right, where they're people are saying he wanted $200 million. He reviewed that and all that. If you're a team like San Fran, get rid of your draft capital or maybe 1 or 2 players. Why shouldn't you go? If they get Lamar Jackson, forget about right now. They're a Super Bowl contender. But if they get Lamar Jackson in San Fran with that offense, with their youngsters and all that, why isn't somebody taking a flyer on doing a trade? Look, Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. Take a flyer, and this guy's 10 years younger, Lamar. Okay? Take a flyer on Lamar Jackson. Why haven't we heard anything about it in the National Football League?
Well, because of the tender, the franchise tag that they put on him is a restricted franchise tag, meaning whatever someone offers them, they can match it. So you have to give up 2 first-round picks, and you might not even get him. So what it does is it reminds me back in 1990, Emmitt Smith was a free agent, and he called up Don Shula personally because no one was giving him any offers. Very similar to this situation. And he said, "Hey, let me come down there to Miami. Let me play with Dan Marino, and let me help him. Let us work together to go to another Super Bowl." I think Dan Marino had the one appearance, but it was a loss. And Don Shula was very candid with him. He said, "I can't." He said, "Why not?" He said, "Because if I give you your fair market value, Dallas is just going to match it. And now I've basically told my team I'm not happy with our running back situation, and I still don't get you. I can overpay you, which they could still match, or now I've overpaid you." And then again, it sends a message to everybody in the room that, I overvalued you or I undervalued them. It causes internal stuff that I don't want to deal with, so I can't do it. And he ends up then obviously re-signing with the Cowboys because he just didn't get any offers. It's the same situation, I think, with Lamar, where you're scared they're going to match whatever you give them. And then what does it say? Your quarterback situation. That being said, you brought up San Francisco. San Francisco is crazy to at least not be kicking the tires on this, but so is every other team in the NFC. If you think about it, Aaron Rodgers now is pretty much gone. Tom Brady is gone, at least from the NFC. So who are the starting quarterbacks? Who are the starting quarterbacks in the NFC? If I'm Lamar Jackson, I want to go. If I'm an NFC team, I want any of the elite quarterbacks I want there, because if you look at the NFC West, you got Geno Smith. Come on. You got what? Trey Lance, maybe. You've got Kyler Murray, who's injury prone. We don't know what we're going to see from him. And we got Matthew Stafford coming off a serious injury.
And they
So
say
there's
they're going
nothing.
to trade Matthew Stafford also. That's the rumors.
Yeah, maybe. That's what I'm saying. So there's question marks all up and down there. The AFC South, you've got the Bucks signing Baker Mayfield to be their starter. You know there's a problem when that's your go-to guy. Who else they got? Derek Carr. Well, we saw Derek Carr in the Raiders uniform, so I'm not expecting big things from him. Who's the quarterback for the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah.
Who's the quarterback? Who's the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons? Okay, so you got nobody there. What is it? NFC, the East? You got Daniel Jones. He's average. He's not elite. Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts might be the one guy. Okay, Jalen Hurts. Then you got, Washington. Who does Washington have now? They did sign
somebody. I forgot who.
Yeah. So okay, but still mid. And I'm missing a team. I'm sure. I'm missing someone from the NFC East. Oh, Dallas. You got Dak.
Yeah.
Again, hasn't shown to be that guy, especially in the playoffs. NFC North. Okay, you got Justin Fields, but he's still young and unproven. You got Kirk Cousins, who you know what you're going to get. Jared Goff. Are you scared of Jared Goff? Are you scared of Jordan Love? So in an entire conference, there's maybe one or two quarterbacks that you're like, oh, they're pretty good. Not elite, pretty good.
Yeah.
All the quarterbacks are in the AFC. I would be doing everything if I'm the San Francisco, if I'm Atlanta, if I'm whoever to get Lamar Jackson over. Absolutely.
And specifically San Fran, because if you look at
they're ready to win a Super Bowl. They get a quarterback, they're in the Super Bowl. Yeah, 100%.
Exactly. So you mentioned Dallas, and I got to say this. We're not fans of Dallas or whatever, but Ezekiel Elliott, now released by the Dallas Cowboys, does he still have anything left? If you look, Buffalo needs a good running back, all right? If you look at Chicago, I know, and all that, but does he have anything left?
No.
Okay. Next.
No. Yeah, it's that simple. Tony Pollard outplayed him. Tony Pollard played Ezekiel Elliott out of that role, and to go on he's not even that old, but to pay what he'll probably want to get paid. Now, if you can get him on the cheap, yes, Buffalo should absolutely, if they can get him on the cheap, take a chance, right? If it doesn't handcuff them financially, absolutely. But I don't think he's got anything left.
All right, so right now, like you mentioned, NFC is at Philadelphia and San Fran. Forget about, Lamar Jackson for right now.
Yeah, as it stands right now, well, Philadelphia has lost so many players on both sides of the ball that it's going to be tougher, but they're okay. They're okay. They should still be, them in San Francisco should still be viewed as the favorites.
Okay. Now in AFC, there's a bunch more teams, but realistically, Buffalo's still there, Kansas City's still there, Miami maybe if you want to put it there and all that. But there's 4 or 5, 6 teams. But who do you think can come out of nowhere? Because the draft's still going on in a month's time. And by the way, Matt Ryan, thank you for coming to Indianapolis. See you later. Won't want to be whatever. All right. Does anybody in NFC take a flyer on Matt Ryan too?
No. See you later.
You're killing me here.
Sorry, him and Carson Wentz should go join Andrew Luck and start making commercials or go to the broadcast booth. In the AFC, listen, you probably have Kansas City. I don't think that's crazy to say winning their division. You have Buffalo winning their division. I don't think that's crazy. And you probably have the Bengals. And then you have Jacksonville. And that's more so because the AFC South is going to be horrible this year. So you got those 4 teams. You then have 3. So I'll get to your question in a second. You then have 3 more playoff spots. Well, you've got Baltimore. Who knows what they're going to be like? Got Cleveland, who no one's talking about Cleveland, but Deshaun Watson now kind of going to have a full offseason, going to come in. They should be better. It's not saying a lot, but they should be better. Pittsburgh is going to be over 500. We know that. Yep. And then you got, like you said, Miami. You got the Chargers. You've got Denver that's going to be improved. So you've got 5 or 6 teams fighting for 3 spots. So if there's anyone, so I would say if there's any team that's would it be calling them coming out of nowhere if Cleveland were to make the playoffs, considering they have Deshaun Watson? Maybe not. Let me think of a team. No, I don't. There really, no, there really isn't a team. There's no space for a team to come out of nowhere because there's already 7 or 8 good teams.
That's it.
Right, there's no like Tennessee, no. Indianapolis, no. The Houston Texans, no. So there's
They're
really
going to be better. Houston's going to be better, but not. And
yeah, they'll be
Tennessee's
better,
gonna
but they're not a playoff team.
Yeah.
We're already expecting the AFC West to be what that's going to be. We already talked about the AFC North. So yeah, I really think Cleveland's the only one that I think no one's talking about that will probably be there, and that might be at the expense of, right? If you think about it, who should be there? Denver, the Chargers, Miami, the Jets are probably the 4 teams fighting. So if you put Cleveland in there, there's 5 teams. So 2 of those teams aren't going to be in the playoffs. So who's that going to be? You know,
Clowney is got released. Does anybody take a flyer on Clowney?
Yes, you finally got a yes. Yes. You take a flyer.
Which team do you think is can he have the greatest impact on? Because I know one team who he could have, especially if Von Miller comes later on in the year. I think he could have a good impact in my team.
That actually was the first team that popped into my head, a team that could use kind of another veteran edge rusher. So I think that Buffalo makes sense. And look, it's going to be a team like that. It's going to be a contending team that is just adding. Like we saw Dallas add Gilmore to their backfield, their defensive backfield. Maybe it's a team like that. That doesn't necessarily need it. But hey, let's just add on a little bit more. Like you might go to San Francisco. It'll be a team that probably doesn't need him because they could probably get him. I don't want to say on the cheap, but in comparison, on the cheap.
All right. So that's Sports Fluent Anthony K. Is there anything else in NFL you want to touch on?
I do want to touch on you had brought it up, the Lamar Jackson thing about, this is what just shows you how broken this relationship is with the Baltimore Ravens. They come out and say they offered him $200 million, and he said no. He says they never offered me $200 million. So there's a lot of people say, well, maybe he's just going to be back in Baltimore next year. I don't think I don't see how they can make that work. Don't see how that can make that work.
San Fran should already, and like you said, any NFC team. But how about? And I'm going to say this. I hate saying this. How about Miami trading Tua and some picks and all that to get Lamar Jackson to Miami?
That was the first, actually, if you went back to before the season ended last year, as things were coming to a close, that's what I said. I said, if I'm Miami, I'm offering Tua, because at least it gives them hope in Baltimore. Say, hey, here's it. When he's healthy, he's really good. So here's Tua and 2 firsts or whatever. Yeah, 2 firsts and a second. And they take that chance because you put Lamar Jackson, hell, you put any durable. Now, the question is, will he be durable? But you put any quality quarterback in with Tyreek Hill and Waddle and those weapons that they have, and an offensive-minded coach, they're gonna be a tough out. So that absolutely, if I'm Miami, I'm trying to do that. If you're Baltimore, you're probably trying to ship him to the NFC, though. I keep hearing Atlanta a lot, so who knows?
But I don't know what he can do. Like, he won't take
the next Michael Vick 2.0 down there is I guess the thought process.
I'm telling you, if I'm San Fran, I throw everything because you're so close. And especially this year,
they don't have the money though. That's you're going to have to give up something to get him money wise, and that's where it gets tricky because you don't want to give up the defense because that's what's keeping you in it.
You're built on defense. Yep. So,
all right. So do you move Christian McCaffrey to make room for Lamar Jackson?
That can be.
He's the only one making top, like he's making $15 million a year, so you still need to make more room. But
well, maybe they move a wide receiver, Ayuk or somebody like that. So
they're not making enough money to make a difference. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. I would, yes, of course. The 49ers should. I find it difficult for it to make financial sense.
All right, Anthony, tell everybody how they could get a hold of you and tell them what can they expect on your show tonight.
Sports_fluent, IG, TikTok, and Twitter. Sportsfluent.com if you can't remember that. And then tonight, if you go to YouTube, look up Player's Choice. That's the network for Fluent and Chill. It is a super chat extravaganza You'll know what that means if you go to the show. We also have Flat Earth Dave, who's going to come on and try to convince us the Earth is flat. He was sent to us by Kyrie Irving. And we're going to talk about Damian Lillard, who had a one-on-one with JJ Redick, talking about he does not like the way that the NBA, the NBA circles and the culture and what's going on with you got to win a title. He had a very candid conversation with him, so we're going to discuss that conversation as well.
All right, that's Anthony K doing double duty tonight. Check out his show also tonight on YouTube. Thanks a lot, Anthony.
Thanks, Joe.
Well, that was Anthony K, as I mentioned, doing double duty with NFL Blitz and NBA Jump Ball. We're going to hopefully be joined by professional hockey player for the Toronto Six and the Premier Hockey Federation, Taylor Woods, to talk about the Toronto Six playoffs that begin tomorrow night, best three of series against the Connecticut Whale at the Manatee Athletic Center, formerly Maple Leaf Gardens, tomorrow, 3 p.m., Saturday, 2 p.m., and then Monday at 6 p.m. The winners go to the Isabel Cup happening Sunday at the Mullet Arena in Arizona. And we're joined by Marty Roberts here. And Taylor will be in hopefully shortly. Marty, how you... Oh, wait a minute. This is the long-awaited Pittsburgh Penguin jersey that myself and Marty's family bought him in lieu of payment here on the Fired Up Network. So, Marty, I'm going to tell the producer to just stand up here, and I'm going to do a close jab up there. 1 second. Wait. Go ahead, Marty. Go ahead. All right, stand up. Who do you got in the back? Number 87. That's not how old Marty is. It's Crosby. Yes, it's Crosby. So hopefully we'll be joined by Taylor just shortly, and we'll ask her when another jersey for Marty Roberts
with an A on it.
Yeah, with an A on it, and says in the woods, something in the woods there. So hopefully we're going to be joined by Taylor Woods. Oh, Taylor's right here. And Taylor... I'm going to, 1 second. So here, you see Marty Roberts, Pittsburgh Penguin jersey. He had it early because he wants a Taylor Woods jersey in time for Marty Roberts. You're going to attend at the Manatee Athletic Center. It's St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. He'll have a little bit of the wobbly pop, too much of the wobbly. He can't go tomorrow at 3 p.m., but he will be there Saturday at 2, right, Marty?
If I have my jersey, I will be there wearing my jersey in the stands.
All right. Hold on, Taylor. First of all, Taylor, enough of the shenanigans, Justin Levine and all that. I can't really rely on Justin Levine. I cannot rely on him for breaking trades. He said Radko Gudas got traded. He said JVR is good. I can't rely on this guy. He wants to be the Elliot Friedman. Maybe he becomes the Justin Merrick. All right, Justin Merrick. Okay, so Taylor. Will we get our Taylor Woods jersey? Will we get our Taylor Woods jersey Saturday? Marty Roberts wants to grace you with his presence, wants to see the winning goal scored by Taylor Woods. I'll be by Paul Morris. Toronto 6 goal, scored by number 2, Taylor Woods. Her first goal of the year, only goal of the year, to send us to the Isabel Cup. How do you like that? All right. Yes or no, will the jersey for Marty be ready? I know the jersey for Joe, the president of the province of Canada, the mayor-elect of North America, the mayor of Toronto, is already ready. But for Marty Roberts, Saturday, will the jersey be ready? Yes or no?
I heard the carrier is sort of lost in Mattamy, how big it is and everything. They're down in the parking lot, running up the stairs. They stopped in Loblaws there, just getting groceries. I don't know where they are.
From UPS. I told you, Taylor, you should trust FedEx, not UPS. FedEx, not UPS. All right. So, look, Taylor, can you come through? You got a day and a half. Can you come through for the grizzled young veteran?
That's pressure. I could withstand the pressure on the ice. I don't know if I could withstand that pressure there, but I will definitely, if I have to, I'll take one of the size small shirts that I have in my bag here and tape a number 2 to the back of it.
You think size small fits Marty right? It doesn't even fit his nose, let alone it doesn't even fit his nose. Now, Taylor, let's talk here. First of all, you live in Hamilton, which is close by to Toronto, but I'm not going to tell you. It looks like you're in a hotel room. All right, looks like you're in a hotel room. Look at is this your game face yet? You got a day and a half, or a day, because Friday is the game 1, Saturday game 2, if necessary, and it's not necessary. Monday game 3, you're gonna eliminate them in a sweep, right? Marty doesn't even know this. Marty, listen to me. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. We're doing a Leave Forever post game or pre-game, and we're doing a T6 post game show. Taylor, I'm not going to bother you. I'm not. If you want to join us and look at Marty's hair and look at his other jerseys and all that, you could join us. Especially if you win. Look, I'll make a deal with you, Taylor Woods. If you score tomorrow, you're joining us because you got to give me all the credit. If you score Saturday, you could joining us. If you don't score, maybe you'll join us on Saturday. See, Marty Roberts is embarrassed now. All right, Marty, turn on your camera. All right, so let's look at before Marty comes back fully here. Let's look at tomorrow's game 1 of the best of 3, Connecticut Whale. You're not scared of whales, are you?
No. You could. They're not on ice, right? They're supposed to be in water, so we could easily. The last couple of games against them, we've had a good battle. They know how to play in tight spaces. They know how to eliminate space, and they have some really good scoring talent up front. So we just got to get just a little bit more aware of hey, where they're going to shoot and just be battle ready. But that's playoffs, right? So you got to be wide-eyed and always just on top of things in playoffs. And I think we'll come out and compete.
Now, of course, you would have played the other team if you beat Boston over the weekend last weekend.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But is there a learning experience from, big game against Boston? They take the first game. You guys take the second game, holding on. Is there a learning experience from that game that you could implement into this game?
Yeah, adversity and sort of battling through. I think when you talk about it is you have 24 games in a season to establish your game and establish how you want to play as a team and as a unit. And when things go down, you know how to pick yourselves up. And when things are high, you know how to stay that consistent level. So I think we had a good opportunity of sort of seeing a little bit of everything over the preseason or during the season. And now it's just sort of letting all those emotions, all the rage and how much we want to win this championship come out in 3 games or 4, but probably 3.
All right. So before I have one more question before I let Marty go into it. We talked about it last week and a couple of weeks ago. Your first game, Mad at Me Athletic Center, former Maple Leaf Gardens, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Walking into the ice and remembering this is where the Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup back in 67 when Marty was minus 2 years old, all right? So back in 67, walking in, is there a little bit of butterflies? Or I know you practiced already at the Mad at Me Athletic Center, try to say that 10 times, formerly Maple Leaf Gardens. The butterflies from Maple Leaf Gardens should be done, but is there something going on to Maple Leaf Gardens ice? I know you're from Winnipeg, shutout. By the way, Winnipeg did a great job yesterday in AEW Dynamite. That's wrestling. Taylor, I know you don't like wrestling, but anyways, I digress. Is there a little bit of now going into Maple Leaf Gardens and saying the wow factor is gone? You're there to do the job?
Well, we're there to put on a good show, and you know what? There's been good shows there in the past, obviously. But yeah, we're here to sort of show that talent and show just how Toronto should be playing hockey. I'm not saying they played okay yesterday, but how Toronto should be playing some playoff hockey.
They did not play okay. They lost. They're losers. I told you.
They played okay.
The professional team to win a championship out of Maple Leaf Gardens will be the Toronto Six, even though they're going to play at Mullet Arena. You know, Marty, you got a week to grow your mullet. I know it back in 70.
Not happening.
All right.
I used to have a pretty sweet mullet. It's not happening now.
Okay, go ahead, Marty. You ask your questions.
Well, so the semifinals is 2 out of 3, and then they go to the finals. It's just a winner take all.
I know.
Should it not be the same at 2 out of 3 in the finals as well?
It should, but it's more just the business aspect in the landscape right now, where it's like, hey, we want TV rights, and the final game is online. It's linear, right? So you could just watch it on TSN, ESPN. Whereas right now it's just more on digital, right? So you have to still go online or just come out, right? Come out is a little more lively that way, promoting, pushing it, but. Yeah, so that's sort of the big difference there. So in the future, I think number one, especially for a player and everything, you want to see more games in a series. Obviously, like we don't lose to teams back to back, so we want more games to play to show our talent and show that edge, right? Even in the NHL, like last year, first round, most games or most series went to 7. Like that's amazing. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we
any
want.
team can beat anyone on one game, right?
Yeah.
Breaks happen that don't go your right way. Luck doesn't go your right way. You know, have a 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5 series allows it to be take those fluky things out of the equation. If someone beats you twice, they deserve it.
It shows more team, right? It shows more team skill, more tactics. Who's literally the better team?
Yep.
All right, so Taylor, let's cut it out. And you said it's about entertaining. It's about winning. Winning. There's no pressure on you. You got to win to get me the ring. Get me the ring. Justin doesn't get the ring. Marty doesn't get the ring. He gets a jersey. We need a ring. And I'm gonna say this. It is going to be the Toronto Six and Boston Pride in the final at Mullet Arena, and it's about time. It's about time that you handle the Boston Pride. All right, it's about. Do you need me to come in and motivate you?
No, I actually thought you were about to sing a song right there. You know, it's about that damn time.
You want me to sing a
Lizzo
song?
there?
All right. You want me to sing a song? Look, Taylor, I'm dressed up. Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. Today is 3/16. So shout out to Stone Cold Steve Austin. We're gonna drink and drink and drink tomorrow, of course, when you guys beat Connecticut. And Saturday, when you scored the game-winning goal, either Saturday or next Sunday in the championship.
Wait,
By the way,
I'm confused now. Am I supposed to score Friday, Saturday, or
you're
next
supposed
Sunday?
to score every day. What do you think I'm paying you for? Every day. All right? Every day. You score. Marty doesn't score usually. So you have to score. I'm relying on you to score. You're a scorer. You're defense, but you're a scorer. Where's your gold medal? You won the gold medal.
Yeah.
You're a winner.
I actually brought it with me. You know, it's good luck now. So you got
That's
to.
because you're bringing them to celebrate. You're putting it on the bench. When you score, you're reaching over and putting it on skating around the
Marty,
Mattamy
you got
Center.
it
We already
wrong.
know this. We know
You
the
got it wrong.
celebration is going to
When
happen.
the Toronto Star, like a guy named Mark Strelinsky, comes to interview you, the Fired Up Network and the president of the provinces of Canada should be first thing out of your mouth. If it wasn't for Joe and the Fired Up Network and Kipling, formerly Marty Roberts, I wouldn't be here today. They taught me everything not to do in hockey. All right? They taught me everything not to do in hockey. Those are your first words. But honestly, you haven't scored a goal this season. How apropos, no, seriously, all joking aside, how apropos will it be when you score in the semifinals or the finals,
It,
specifically to win the cup?
it would mean a lot. Like I've been working on different aspects of my game, and obviously that offensive side. Just different plays of offense, right? Different roles, trying to support the defense coming up, working on that transition game. But yeah, obviously, I want to be a shooter. I'm very confident with how I've been performing the last couple of weeks of practice, and I've literally told my equipment guys, like, hey, like I'm stick handling, like I'm handling like just a nice biscuit coming through, right? It's nice and hot and like heads up. So I'm feeling great with the stick. So hopefully, one or two pop in.
So you don't know this, all right? You don't know this. Here, I'm gonna give Marty Roberts doesn't even know this. Here's a surprise. Since I'm the president of the province of Canada, the mayor-elect of North America, running mayor of Toronto, I'm gonna declare we're gonna have a parade, a Toronto Six parade, when you win the Isabel Cup Sunday, next Sunday at Mullet Arena, home of Marty Roberts. That's why they called it Mullet Arena. All right, we're gonna have it on Tuesday. We're going to have a celebration. You think the Raptors parade did? No, we're going to have a celebration. And here it is. I don't know if you see it. The key to the city. The key to the city is going. Look at Marty. Marty, I got the key to the city. I'm the president of the province of Canada. The key to the city is going to be given to the one who scores the game-winning goal for the Isabel Cup. the game-winning goal for the Isabel Cup. Now, there's no pressure. Look, it even says Taylor wins here. I don't know if you see this, but it even says, so don't make me have to spend more money and change the name to, La Cava and Serona Tinker and everybody like that, all right? So I don't want to change it. It's for the key to the city, all right? Do you think, has there been talk, or you're focusing, do you think there's going to be an Isabel Cup parade?
I don't know. They haven't even told us when we're knock on wood when we're leaving for Arizona because of all the superstitions.
Wait,
So.
hold on. You want to know? I know everything. You're leaving, and listen to this, Marty. This is a sweet deal that I cut. Sweet. All right. The game is Sunday. If they go to the finals, which is in Arizona, Mullet Arena, they're leaving on Tuesday. They get a week in Arizona, Marty. How the hell are we not part of the Toronto 6 team? I could replace Justin Levine in a second. I gotta be the media relations guy. A week in Arizona. You know what, Taylor? I'm gonna do this. We're gonna talk offline. You're gonna be in a week in Arizona, right? I'm gonna give you media passes for Arizona games to watch baseball. Marty, she's gonna watch some baseball, man. By the way, are you a big baseball fan, Taylor?
I keep up with it here and there.
Who's your
like
team?
with the world
Baseball
World
Classic,
Baseball Classics going on. So Canada just lost to Mexico. I know that they're
they're out.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
They're gone.
They're done. Going home. Here, Joseph. Here you go.
Hold on. All right. Yes.
Oh well, it'd be too blurry. It's too blurry. I was gonna say you got the
Taylor. That is Marty Roberts
That's
with
my
a
mullet
and a mustache. I don't know which one is worse. All right.
mustache and a mullet. There you go. I used to have hair.
But he lost it when he was in grade
Yeah,
6.
I cut out for a little bit there, and I didn't know. Taylor, where are you staying? That team put you up tonight?
No.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell. It's not Royal Hotel. It's not the Sheridan Center. I know which hotel it is. It looks like the same place that Fired Up Network own Ryan Payton stays at. All right, it looks like
you can tell just by the little
Well, how many pink clouds on their walls?
No, but listen, hold on. It looks like she's having a holiday in there. All right, so that's where it is, right? Taylor, you nod your head. All right,
so it's holiday season for the next 10 days now, 11 days.
Well, no, it's March break over almost. Come on. March break is over. But listen, give us a scouting report on the Connecticut Whale, and then we'll switch to Boston and their opponent. You guys want to play Boston. Let's face it, right? You guys, because revenge factor. But take us through, if Boston gets upset, is it an easier way to holding up the... By the way, you're calling me. I'm taking the private jet to Arizona because you guys are when you win the Isabel Cup, I should be on the ice. I should be partying with you. Throw Justin on the floor, whatever. Who cares? Marty, you got to bring your phone, take that picture, me holding up the Isabel Cup. Wow. Have you dreamt about that, Taylor?
I haven't. I'm just gonna live in the moment and do it. Right. I'm focusing on the game. I'm focusing on those goals that I'm supposed to score every game.
Yes,
now,
you're supposed to score. You're supposed, and you know what? I'm gonna talk to Geraldine Heaney. Right? You scored the game-winning goal, and I'll throw in $5. Marty, how much you throwing in? She scores the cup-winning goal.
I'm still gonna have nightmares tonight watching you hold anything up.
Listen, this guy, it's been a rough night. I don't even know if you know why. It's been a rough night. All right? But we're still here. We're doing it, and we're wishing the Toronto 6 the best. Remember, 2 out of 3 in Mattamy Athletic Center, formerly Maple Leaf Gardens, Friday, 3 p.m., Saturday, 2 p.m., Monday, if necessary, which will not be necessary. They're going to be on the trip. They're going to plan. By the way, Taylor, get 50, your sun lotion and everything like that. Is there any practice time in Arizona? It's like 120 degrees. The ice is actually, I go to 7-Eleven, I have a popsicle and better ice than that. Come on. Did you?
I think that's why we're going early. A, you just gotta get used to the different time, and then B, it's like, hey, what ice you're playing on, right? Is it like pebbles? Is it like nice smooth ice? Like, how's it gonna
What's the
act?
worst ice you ever played on?
Even the outdoor ice a little bit. When it was like in February, that was worse than it was in December. December was nice and smooth, minus all the outdoor ice. Florida was different. Like, it was nice, but it was still like it. Sometimes it got wet in some spots, so I'm expecting the same thing in Arizona.
So when you win the Isabel Cup, do people from the PWHPA call you? You know, you're all friends and all that. Do you get some calls saying congratulations and all that? Like, I know you ladies, there's War, PHF, PWHPA, but you know, you're all friends. So somebody call you and say congratulations and all that?
Well, I, not really, but like at the
You
same
hate
time,
that,
like you
right?
asked me this question, and we totally just missed out on the scouting report of the whale. And
No,
even the
I'm
scouting,
going to go
it
back
doesn't
to
really
it because
matter.
I'm
Like,
looking at
it's
Marty
our team.
Roberts' jersey. Marty, get me
Well,
another
here
beer.
I'll take it back to the scouting report. See, Joseph's all over the place again. We'll pull him back in here, Taylor. Whose job is it going to be the next 2 games to look after Kennedy Marchment?
Oh,
Oh, look at Marty doing some homework.
wow, there you go. Yeah, like she's been scoring and has a point in every game for I think the last 17 or 18 games. So definitely I know she likes to go down to side, try to chip it wide, but as soon as she gets rid of the puck, you still got to make sure like she's far away from the puck. So just putting a body on her, and hopefully when I'm on the ice with her, I just keep her limited with shots.
So
there you go, Joseph. That's how you bring it back.
all right, well, I'm going to bring it back. All right, give us a scouting report on Connecticut and then Boston, Minnesota. By the way, Marty, do you know what Minnesota's name is called? Quickly, 3 seconds.
I said
Whitecaps,
no.
like the Vancouver Whitecaps. And by the way,
What now?
they'll be
Are not
one.
white caps things around the water?
Wait, I don't care
Is
what's
that
in
why
the
they called them that?
By the way, Taylor is very interested in this right now. Game 1 is playing between Minnesota and Boston, and they're tied up at 2.
Yeah.
They're tied up at 2. All right.
Saw that.
Yeah, that's and like I said, I'm gonna be totally honest. Minnesota a little bit easier than playing Boston. I know you guys want to play Boston, but it will be a little bit
Different
easier.
game. Different game. Have you ever? Western teams are always they like to throw the body and everything. So like easier, quote unquote, is different. Like the Pride have a little bit more talent here and there, but they're able to get down on themselves a little bit easier if you get under their skin. So even just like a little bit of like a stick tap. Like I had people complaining. It's like, oh, you guys slash so much, and it's like, that's a hockey play, bud. Like just take the slash. But it is what it is.
All right, I have an update. And Taylor, you're going to be smiling on this one. 12 minutes left to go in the third period. The Whitecaps have taken the lead. They lead the Boston Pride 3-2.
Hey, they were up 2-0. So hey, congratulations. They have grit. So and that's what you want in a playoff game.
Yeah, throw a Boston. No grit. No, they don't have Marchand to lick somebody. No, come on. All right. So they're obviously you want to play Boston, but let's take us because you're probably going to play Boston. But take us through if you guys play. You said it's a different game. How so? Are they more physical?
The Whitecaps are a little more physical. They like to shoot the puck on net. They do, I think, have one of the top power plays, which they turned that around this year. They're very disciplined too, so they know their systems. They play well at their systems, and they just keep rolling. That's their thing. It's like, hey, Caps roll. That's they just roll with every line. I think they're a pretty tight group, so of course when they come out, they're always giving it their all.
All right, Marty, go ahead.
Well, you keep making her think of next weekend when we should just be talking about this weekend, Joseph.
All right,
about playing
Marty.
Connecticut. That's all that matters.
That's all
that matters is this weekend, Joseph. We can't leapfrog over
Marty,
this
are you
weekend.
going to the game on Saturday? Are you going to the game Saturday?
I might
Not
possibly be going
possibly.
to the
I
game.
want a commitment. If she's going to give you a jersey, if she's committing herself to her own
Well, if she's
jersey,
committed to a jersey, I'm there.
what time?
I'm there. If she's committing to a jersey,
Like,
I'm
guys
there
running
Saturday.
around the center. I'm not sure. He might have just gotten a workout on the second floor with the jersey on. Like, I don't know if you want a sweaty jersey, so I'm gonna have to return it.
I'll take any jersey, sweaty, dirty, clean, fold it. I'll take it.
Listen,
Iron clean pressed.
Marty, if she gets you a jersey, are you going to wear it till they win the Isabel Cup?
I will wear it till they win the Isabel Cup. Yes.
And then when they win the Isabel Cup, what are you going to do with it? Are you
I'm
going to
wear
still
it to
wear
the
it?
parade. I'm wearing it to the parade.
Good answer.
And
that's great.
He knows the parade is going because after all, Marty Roberts is Kipling Roberts, all right? So, Marty, let's look at the inside of Kipling. What are you doing? You got to rev it up for the playoffs, right, Marty? What are you doing since you're Kipling? What are you doing? Is that head?
You know what? I cannot reveal anything that will be going on at the Mattamy Center tomorrow. That would be a lack of complete. What's the word I'm looking for?
Confidentiality.
Yeah, confidentiality of the Toronto Six and me playing Kipling. So we can't tell you, Joseph. You just have to come out tomorrow and see for yourself.
And it's a full swing back and talking about entertainment.
Exactly, right? I may run up and down the stairs there at the Mattamy Center. I might throw on some skates, go across the ice.
No way he's running up and down the stairs on Thanksgiving.
I just might, Joseph.
No way he's running up down the stairs, maybe to pee after he drank at St. Patrick's Day. Come on. No way he's
Hey, you don't know this. There's a cup already inside Kipling. I don't have to go anywhere.
All right. I didn't know. I did not need to know that either. By the way, tickets, I believe, are $10. Come on. Even the cheapskate Marty Roberts can afford $10. $10. I want to see everybody. I think Mattamy Athletic Center, formerly Maple Leaf Gardens, takes about 5,000, right, Taylor?
I think so.
I want to see it filled. You know, you're going to watch history in the making. This is the first ever playoff game for the Toronto Six. They've been in the playoffs every year, but because of COVID, they've been in Florida, like you talked about, and all this. This is the first ever playoff game for the Toronto Six. So you're witnessing history in the making. You're also going to witness, and she gave me her word that Taylor Woods will be scoring a goal in Toronto. Taylor, I don't care. You talk to Cheyenne Darkangelo. You talk to whoever. You stand in front of the net. You tip. Honestly, you're a defenseman who is also could play forward. You're tough. For those who don't know, she is a champion, Olympic weightlifter champion. I don't know if Olympic, but I'll say it. A champion, right? Who's going to move you when you're in front of the net? Marty Roberts can't move you. Come on. You should be in front of the net in the power play. By the way, Geraldine, thanks a lot. I got the schematics how to win the Isabel Cup. All right, Taylor.
Here, Joe, I'm going to do Justin's job. Seeing Justin's not here. You know, for tomorrow's game, for Saturday's game, if they make it a Sunday's game, you have to go online. Put the code in, GO6, and you'll get your $10 ticket at the Mattamy Center to see the Toronto Six sweep against Connecticut Friday, Saturday. Go to the site, GO6, $10 tickets. There you go. Justin Levine, where are you?
That was great. It is on Ticketmaster, though, so.
Ticketmaster.
There you go.
Justin Levine is in that same hotel where Taylor is. Because, you know, I talked to him before. And Taylor, listen, the guy lives in Toronto. He's going to spend the night in a hotel because he doesn't want to wake up for 6 a.m. on Friday. This is a playoff game. Playoff game. Playoffs. Get your mind ready, Levine. Get your mind ready. Where's your focus? Taylor, give me your game face. Give me a game face like you're mad.
I did it all through practice today. I did not I smiled a little bit, but it was like just straight face.
There's no smiling in hockey unless you win. There's no crying in baseball, and there's no smiling in hockey unless I'm taking your paycheck. All right? So, look, I never will do this. So I'm not going to ask you for a prediction. But, Marty,
You've only
tomorrow.
done it about 4 times on the last
No,
30
not
minutes.
her, not her. I can't have. This is the playoffs. We gotta amp it. All right. So here it is, Marty. 3 p.m. tomorrow. Madison Athletic Center, formerly Maple Leaf Gardens. Game 1. Connecticut Whale. Toronto 6. Purchase your tickets at Ticketmaster.ca. $10. You cheapskate. Give me a prediction. That's how you cut a promo, Marty.
Prediction is Toronto 6 wins both games as long as you guys stay out of the box, because Connecticut has the best power play in the league at 24%. Stay out of the box. You win both games, and you're off to Arizona to watch some spring training baseball games and to the Isabel Cup.
We also have the most penalty minutes in the league.
No, you're close, but not quite. Not quite. You are close. 238 is the leader. You guys are 202.
Second most. Listen, the whole thing is this is the first playoff game for the Toronto 6. It's played at Maple Leaf Gardens. For those people, and Marty, Taylor may be a little bit young, for those people who don't know what Maple Leaf Gardens is, I know it's renovated and all that. It's Madison Athletic Center. But when you go into Madison Athletic Center, Maple Leaf Gardens, and look up there, look at the roof. The roof is the same what it's been since 1931 when Marty Roberts was 1 year old. All right? So, Marty, tell them you're a little bit older than me. Tell them by 40 years. Tell them what you can expect when you go to Maple Leaf Gardens.
I don't know what you're going to expect. It's all brand new now.
Actually, no. So I actually looked up at the roof, and I didn't know that. And I looked up. I was like, wow, that's pretty tall. Like,
does it still look like people can walk around up there? Like there's a little apartment up on top of Maple Leaf Gardens. Is that what it looks like still up there?
I didn't notice that, but I just noticed there's a lot of pipes and a lot of just different structures. Like, oh, that's neat.
What direction?
Like how much, Joe? Here, you'll know this. How much further up is the ice surface now? Because isn't shopping underneath
5 floors more? 5.
So 5 floors closer to the roof. Okay.
And center ice of the original Maple Leaf Gardens is at Loblaws. All right. So by the way, Justin Levine tried to get face-off, the original face-off, like the face-off for the Connecticut at the Loblaws. Right. He wanted it because he wanted to.
But he wanted by the Loblaws by his house.
No, there's no Loblaws by his house. By the way, I'll tell you where he lives. But anyways, that Madison Athletic Center, that is the original roof. That it's a little bit cleaner now, but since 1931, when they opened up, I think it was November 9th, 1931 or something like that. Maple Leaf Gardens that's the original roof. Now, you had practice at Maple Leaf Gardens. Did you go into the former Maple Leafs dressing room?
I didn't. So we're on the far side.
You're on the visiting.
So here, let me ask you this, Joe. So if the ice surface is being moved up 5 floors, how the heck is there still this original change room of the Toronto Maple Leafs still there?
Because I'm not a construction worker. All right.
Please explain that to me, Joseph. That the rink is being moved up 5 stories, but did you go see the Maple Leafs change room? That's impossible to do.
No, because you go. It's like
what's there right now? The frozen food sections in the Maple Leafs change room. Well, look, Taylor's all choked up now.
Frozen food. So you mentioned frozen, and she needs to be healthy for the game. Don't make her sick, Marty. Come on.
You better cut this off because if she can't go tomorrow, she's going to the Toronto 6 are going to blame you and me for this.
Taylor, honestly,
I'll be okay.
Honestly. We wish you nothing but the best of luck tomorrow. Again, the game 1 of the best of 3. They're not going to go 3. A Madison Athletic Center, formerly Maple Leaf Gardens, against the Connecticut Whale happens tomorrow. Tomorrow, yes, St. Patrick's Day tomorrow at 3 p.m. So not to be confused. Game 1, 3 p.m. Game 2, which Marty Roberts is going to attend. If he doesn't, he'll be with Justin Levine sweeping around the frozen food section at 2 p.m. on Saturday. And if necessary, it's not Sunday, Marty. It is Monday at 6. So 3, 2, and 6. And think about it this. Marty Roberts, I know you're a little bit slow here. 3 times 2 equals 6. That's why they play at 6. All right? We wish you nothing but the best of luck, Taylor. And honestly, we're going to do a Maple Leaf Forever pre-game show around 6 p.m. I know the game starts 3. You'll probably be finished 5:15. When you win, I'm going to send you a link. I don't care if you have to go to the frozen food section to do a 5-minute hit with us. We need champions here. If I'm relying on Marty Roberts to win a title, never going to happen. You already won the gold medal at the Arnold 2 weeks ago. By the way, where is it? You haven't had it. Where is it? Come on. Is it around you?
It is.
All right. Well, I'll stop for. Don't forget to purchase your tickets tomorrow at the Mattingly Athletic Center, game 1 of the best of 3 between the Toronto Six and the Connecticut Whale. Tickets are as low as $10 at Ticketmaster.ca. There you go. That's how you stall for time. I'm going to ask the producer to close it in there. All right. Look at that, Marty. Look at that. Look at that.
Zooming in.
Yes. Next week, she's also going to have another medal. Do you get a medal when you win the cup? Do you
get a ring?
I can't
hear you.
Yeah. Do you get a medal? Do you get a medal when you a ring, whatever? What do you get when you win the cup?
Handshake and probably a ring.
What do you mean? I don't need a handshake. I don't need all that hard work for a handshake.
You got your
I'd
pride.
rather get a milkshake for that. Come on.
You can say you're a champion, Joseph. You can say you're a champion.
Listen to me,
They
Marty.
can't take that away from you.
You know, you can't take. I'm the president of the provinces of Canada, mayor-elect of North America.
Minnesota's now up, 5-2? Minnesota's up 5-2 now.
Oh, empty nets.
Yes. So it's game over. I'm officially saying it's game over. 1-0 for Minnesota. Now, Boston has to show their pride. Get it? Has to show their pride because they've the best team in the league for 2-3 years. And you know what?
That's 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say 2-3 years ago. I'm telling you this right now. The door is opening up for you, Taylor. The door is opening up for you. You're from where? Where are you from originally? So watch this.
Manitoba?
Yes, Minnesota, very close to Manitoba.
You didn't sound sure about that, Taylor, there in Manitoba.
Where's this going?
No,
because you need a winner from Manitoba. Seeing the Jets can't ever win, so you could be the winner for Manitoba.
Winnipeg's very close to Minnesota. All right? Winnipeg, you're going to have in Arizona. Think about this. Winnipeg, Manitoba, Minnesota, Arizona. And you're scoring the game-winning goal in the woods, and there's the Whitecaps and everything like that. Look, it's just opening up for you, Taylor. I'm gonna be a hero. I'm gonna take credit for
it's a fairy tale. You're writing a story there.
Yeah, I'm writing. Look at tell Mark Solinsky when he interviews you that Fired Up Network, and I can write the story too. All right. Again, the Toronto Six going to be victorious, but that's big. That's honestly, before we go, I didn't expect Boston to lose game 1. Did you?
No. Well, anything could happen in the playoffs. And just the Whitecaps play that rugged game. So, you know what? Kudos to them. They actually were down there on Tuesday or Wednesday, so they're ready to play. But yeah, no, I was expecting Boston to win that.
Well, it looks like they're going to be down 1-0, and that is huge for Minnesota. Again, Minnesota then plays Saturday, and then they play Sunday. Saturday, Sunday, so they have a day off tomorrow. You guys are playing Friday, Saturday. All right? Yep. So go, give your best, and just win, baby. Just win. All right, Taylor? Any last comments, Marty?
Anyways, it's just do it, not just win. If you're trying to quote Nike like last time you said the same thing, it's just do it. Just so we're on the same page, it's Nike.
Maybe
I just want to correct you, Joseph. I know you get sometimes you get excited, so I'm just reeling you back in again, Joseph.
Do you like wearing Nikes or Adidas?
Like shoes wise, Nike.
There you go. See,
I told you it's just do it. It's not just win.
Do it. It's just do it.
All right. Thanks.
Hey, good luck tomorrow, Taylor. I'm gonna
you.
get down there on Saturday, and we're gonna watch you guys win versus Connecticut on your way to the Isabel Cup.
And Taylor, when you win, I may even come down with Marty Roberts. So the pressure's on.
Now he's lying. No.
I'm telling you, I got to see Taylor score that game-winning goal and make me a legend. I'm a legend.
Hey, Taylor, here's a question for you. You guys have curfew tonight?
No.
No curfew?
We're responsible adults.
Yeah,
honestly, what
I think
what are you
Justin
doing
Levine's going to be the
after
one
dinner?
causing issues there in the hotel room.
No. There's no issues. The only issue is with Justin Levine partying all the time. But
So I just said.
Taylor, let me ask you this. I know that. Taylor, let me ask you this. No curfew. What are you doing tonight? Come on.
I'm probably just gonna eat, watch some more NHL, and I do have a little bit of work to do, so I will just wind down doing that, and just have a chill night.
What's your pre-game meal?
It could be anything like stir fry. I'm not really a big chicken and pasta person anymore. But yeah, anything I sort of stir fry, veggies, some chicken, obviously. But
Is there anything superstitious that you do every single game the exact same, whether it's the same undergarments, the same way you tie your skates? Is there anything that you'll do every game that is your superstition?
No, I try to get rid of like a lot of superstitions. Like, oh, I'm just gonna come out here and play. But there's a lot of people that just like routine. It's like, oh, you have to be on this side of the line to warm up. This side, I have to be in this certain order. I have to do this certain handshake, and it's like, okay, like whatever. But I am responsible to take all the pucks off during the warm up. So typically they're stacked in a pyramid. So I just go like one by one. And I've gotten a lot of pictures for doing that. I'm like, this is weird, but I guess it's a thing now. And even like our equipment manager tried to sabotage it by making all the pucks wet so they stick to each other. And it's like, nope, I have the good tap to knock the pucks down. So I guess that is my routine, if you want to say that. But yeah.
So Taylor, like I said before you go here, tomorrow we're going to endeavor doing a Maple Leaf pregame show, and we'll talk about the Toronto 6 victory. So if you can, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever Marty Roberts wants to see the jersey, you're gonna give it to him, and especially when you win, you're more than welcome. But good luck tomorrow at the Matic Athletic Center, Game 1, formerly Maple Leaf Gardens, 3 p.m. Taylor Woods, professional hockey player, soon to be champion. Where's your gold medal?
It's right here.
All right. She's already champion for Arnold Schwarzenegger, strong woman. Now she's going to be a hockey champion. Doesn't that sound great, Taylor?
It sounds lovely. It sounds even greater in these headphones. So I got to promote that because they're also gold.
So she's sucking up, Anthony. She's sucking up for another pair of Wave Global headphones, all right? So I'm going to let you get to bed. You need extra sleep because tomorrow is game day, all right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow's game day. Good luck, all right? That's Taylor
Thank
Woods.
you.
And Taylor, tell everybody how to get a hold of you before you leave.
Yeah. I'm on Twitter at Tay_Storm or mostly on Instagram at TWoodsTraining.
And at the Mattamy Center, 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And for a victory. All right. Thanks a lot, Taylor.
Thanks.
Good luck, Taylor.
Thank you.
Taylor Woods. Good luck to Taylor and everybody at the Toronto 6. And fans, go out to the Mattamy Athletic Center, formerly Maple Leaf Gardens, tomorrow, 3 p.m. I know it's St. Patrick's Day. I know even the Marlies play at 1:30 at the Air Canada Center. There's a game at the Scotiabank Arena at 7 p.m. Maple Leafs are in action. But go out, support. It's a playoff game at Maple Leaf Gardens. All right. So, Marty, now Taylor alluded to it. Let's talk about the WBC World Baseball Classic there. Team Canada, a little bit disappointing, but what are you going to do? Like we talked off here, when Ernie Witt throws in a pitcher, what is he, 19, 20 years old?
20 till July. I didn't, I get what they were maybe trying to do, but I think they should have maybe let him throw against Great Britain and throw a guy with Major League Baseball experience, as in Quantrill, to throw against the United States. Like, you have to look at that lineup that Brat faced. The first 4 guys have won MVPs in Major League Baseball. And number 5 guy could win one. So, like, I just think that he should have been that kid that went out there as a 19-year-old to start that game. And you could see he was pretty nervous about the whole situation. You could see it the way it was. He wasn't his same self. Like, he's a pretty good control guy. He was trying to nibble too much. and that got him in a little bit of trouble. But heck, 19 years old, Joe, against MVP players in Major League Baseball. To me, I don't think Brad should have started. I think it should have been, and especially if Canada was thinking that this is a throw-off game. You don't start the kid that has a bright future. I'm sorry, you just don't, especially at 19 years old. So I didn't agree with that. As you saw, they had a okay WBC. They did. They won against Valenzuela, which they weren't. Well, sorry, Colombia. Was it not Colombia?
Yeah, Colombia.
Colombia. They weren't expected to beat them. They had an okay tournament. If they'd had some other pitchers in the bullpen, like they had 3 or 4 guys that were almost 40 years old in that bullpen.
Yeah.
So there's a few guys that they hopefully from in WBCs to come they can get. But like I've said before, I think the scheduling of the WBC at where it's at will never get the elite players always out because it's leading into their season and they're not quite ready. You saw Max Scherzer say it that he's not ready yet to go in and amp up to a atmosphere like it is at the WBC in these games. So if you can move it sometime other than 2 weeks into spring training, I think you get a lot better players out there. I'm not saying that these guys are bad that's out there. These guys are obviously pretty damn good that's out there. But you get the best of the best that are out there. And you'll get even better baseball. Like, it's good baseball. Like, you look over in like Japan. Look at the crowds that are watching Japan play over there. The place is sold out. That's what they live for there. Maybe not in North America do we live so much for this, but, in Mexico, Puerto Rico, Dominican, Japan, they love these country versus countries events. Just in North America, it's not as big, I don't think, for at least baseball, at least.
So I was thinking about this, and what would you say, and I know you're a baseball purist, but having it during the All-Star break, because the All-Star break, you already have 1 week for the All-Star break. Let's say they push it, like they lose or they push back the regular season or maybe start the regular season 3-4 days. You give them, 12 to 14 days during the baseball classic and have it during, the All-Star break.
Yeah, you might be able to do that during that time, Joe. But then you're the end of that little break that starts up. Then you have to get those teams to go back to play in Japan or China or Korea, wherever they're going to play there, because they play it all over the place, right? It's not just in North America. So it takes a couple days to get back there, and then the teams are playing in Japan, and that they need some time to get accustomed to the time change there. All right, to me,
they will start the week, like, let's say it's July 14th is the All-Star game. Let's say July 4th, Japan, Italy, and all that. Let them play, and then they come over when it's the second round, third round. That week of the All-Star, you finish during the All-Star, and then you don't need to have an All-Star game that year because technically World Baseball Classic full of All-Stars.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. Like it's got to change from here. Like that could work. 10 to 14 days off. Go and do the WBC at that time. I still like the end of the year, but there's still people that would say anyone who goes to the World Series, those guys aren't going to go anyways because they've already had a long season. So that a 2 week span off, 10, 14 days off to do the WBC might be just what is needed. Like I said, what Scherzer said. Like you figure it, like you look at the United States, if they had Scherzer, Verlander, DeGrom, Kershaw, I don't know if they lose with that starting rotation and the guys that they have hitting there, right? So something has to be done. It's good baseball to watch. I just think that you'll get everyone out that's the best in their countries out to play if they have, like you said, all-star break type deal, or maybe even after the season. Like, I know a lot of people, I've always said that WBC shouldn't be played then, but I'm not going to say it's the WBC's fault for Diaz tearing his patella on his knee. I'm not going to say that. That could have happened.
Well, he partied, like it's a fluke injury.
Yeah, it could have, like if we remember a few years ago, Marcus Stroman tore his knee on a sprinkler head at spring training. So I'm not going to say that that is the reason why that happened, because it was a fluke accident. That's not the reason why this happened. So anyone thinks that WBC should be shut down because Diaz got hurt is wrong. Like, that's not the case. Guys, like, the reason why pitchers don't want to go is they're not really geared up for this. They're not amped up to go right now. And as you saw, I think it's 65 pitches is the pitch limit.
65,
I believe is what it is. So they're not even fully extended yet, 2 weeks into spring training. But it has been some good baseball. I'll give it to that. You got Great Britain does not have to qualify next time for the WBC, right? So, and you look at, Colombia, I believe, now has to reseed or qualify again for the WBC, and they had some really good players on that team for Colombia.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at that, it's like, holy cow, they have to now, and Great Britain doesn't have to, so that's a big lift off of Great Britain's shoulders that they don't have to worry about re-qualifying for the next WBC. You got Cuba and Japan that are into the semifinals. Now you wait for the winner of U.S. Venezuela, and then you have Puerto Rico and Mexico on the other side, and you got Urias starting for Mexico, and our friend Marcus Stroman starting for Puerto Rico.
So I'm gonna ask you this. Hold on. So today Japan beat Italy 9-3. Okay. Tomorrow Puerto Rico and Mexico 7 p.m. Who you got in this one?
Man, I think I'm going to go with Puerto Rico. I think I am. I think I go Puerto Rico to beat Mexico. I thought Canada had a good shot at beating Mexico yesterday. I really did. The wheels sort of fell off. I think it was in the 4th or 5th inning for them there. I think Puerto Rico does. As much as I don't like Marcus Stroman, he does show up in big games. And he might be the right guy. Now, if it was Barrios starting tomorrow, I might change my mind. But Stroman is going. I'm going to go with Stroman and Puerto Rico to beat Mexico.
All right. Saturday, 7 p.m. U.S. and Venezuela.
I think and Venezuela's got some good guys on their team, right? They have some really good players on there. I still like the United States. I just don't know who's starting for the States. Have you seen yet who's starting for the United States?
No.
Let me see if I can pull up real quick here, Joe. You cut another promo, Joseph.
All right. So we're talking about the World Baseball Classic. By the way, is the final one game, or is it a 2 out of 3, or is it only one game, like a World Cup final, like World Cup baseball here?
Yeah, it's all just one game now, right? It's 1-1-1. That's it. And and I think Japan, Otani already pitched, so he's not going to be going.
Yeah.
So I think the final goes like Monday or Tuesday?
Wednesday, I think.
Wednesday?
So they gave him a day off, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think – it's not showing who U.S. or Venezuela is going to be starting yet. Puerto Rico doesn't say either, but I heard today that Puerto Rico is starting Marcus Stroman. So that, I don't know who the state will start. Like, it's going to be do they go back to Wainwright? Like, he was the one who started game 1 for them. Do they go back to him to start? My guess is that's who they probably will go to is Wainwright, because that was probably 5 or 6 days ago that he pitched, right? So I could see them going back to Wainwright for that.
Well, interesting, and like I said, or like you said, the World Baseball Classic, some good baseball is being played, and I'm telling you right now, better baseball is on its way. These games again, I don't know if they don't have a pitch clock here. They don't have a pitch clock because these games are long, and they're so long that they call some games at the 5th inning and 7th inning. Put it that way.
Well, right? I know those games because they implemented the mercy rule, right? Which is good. I like that. I like the 10. It's usually 10 after 5.
In Major League Baseball also.
They you know what they could do that. I like how I think it's 10 after 7 here, so that's nice. And like usually in the low leagues and that it's 10 after 5, 15 after 3. Here 10 after 7 might be a good number, but we've seen teams come back and score a bunch of runs in 2 innings. So as much as I'd be a fan of it, I don't know if I would be happy if I thought my team was going to come back, right? So it is for something like this, the WBC, it's a good thing to implement because there is teams and they're put in there for the teams like Nicaragua and even Great Britain to an extent that they thought would get mercy because Great Britain got mercy against Canada in their second game, their 18-6 or whatever it was, right? So
Yeah.
it's good to have in there. There's no question about that.
So who are you calling in the final?
I think Japan is
US,
there,
Japan? Yeah.
and I think U.S. But that Venezuela game is going to be tough for the United States. Like you have Perez, you have Altuve, you have a lot of good players on Venezuela that no one knew of. Like I didn't know that these guys all played for Valenzuela until I watched the game.
Yep.
Right? Like they have Escobar, Altuve, Perez, Gleyber Torres. So they have some Ronald Acuna Jr. who started off terribly. If you remember in the first game, 7 left men on base. Santander from Baltimore. They have a lot of guys. So to this game is going to come down to pitching. Who's gonna have the best guy on the mound?
That's the question mark for the U.S. Right? So they have amazing offense, but
yeah, you're gonna have to see and what former Jays on Valenzuela, Matt Castillo. I remember he came up a couple times last year for the Jays, and I think he was traded to Miami in the Pop trade. I can't remember. That's it. But it's going to be if it's United States versus Cuba, Japan versus Puerto Rico, I'm taking Japan and the United States in the finals.
All right. So
I'm honestly surprised by Cuba because I was on here last week saying Cuba didn't look as good as they had years past. Yes, they got in at 2-2. Then they beat Australia in the quarterfinal. Now they're into the semifinal, waiting to play the winner out of Venezuela and in the States.
The big surprise had to be Dominican, right? So
and they had some guys on there that could play, yes, but I just don't know if they had one good game, truthfully, that they had. Like they lost some games that I was like, should it been that close? Should they have lost that game? Yeah. Dominican on paper looked like it was one of the best teams there, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And then they go and they don't even make it into the round robin play now or the playoff play.
Yeah.
So
that's why I'm saying it's the surprise because everybody was saying Cuban, Dominican, Japan, and the U.S. the Final Four.
That's why you just never know. Like you get a guy who pitches and he throws well. That can be it right there. They can shut down any good hitter, right? A guy who's on his game could shut down any good hitter, and that's what happened a couple times against the Dominican. Dominican didn't have anyone to come back with to match whoever they were facing. Like I'm still like I said, I'm still surprised at Valenzuela. Like they were 4-0 in group play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So there's only 2 teams that were 4-0 in group play: Japan and Venezuela.
Yep. And Arizaruna, or how do you say it? Randy Arizaruna.
Yep.
From Tampa in Mexico. Every time he goes up, I think he has a double every time. Yeah, I think
and that's how he was a couple of years ago. You remember in the playoffs, it just seemed like when he came up in his rookie year, he just took off, and in the playoffs, he was just unbelievable. I know Steve Carney would know every stat possible at Reese Arena in the playoffs, but he would have been. He loves this type of situations. He does. He loves being big time. He's a big game player, and he's doing it now.
All right, let's focus here in the NHL here because I'll start off with what shirt are you wearing?
Yeah,
the New York.
They were 2-2. They were 2-2, and for the life of me, I don't know why. Like it's sort of like what Keith did with Murray the other day. Murray had 5 stinkers in a row, allowed 4+ goals in 5 games in a row. Then he goes and starts them the other night against who was it before Colorado they played?
They played Edmonton.
No, but after Edmonton.
Uh, um,
Shoot.
let me look at it.
I totally
They
forget
played
who they played.
Buffalo.
Buffalo, yes, Buffalo. He gave up another 4 goals there.
Yeah.
More than, but you know, same thing was in Pittsburgh tonight. Jari didn't play great the other night. They put him back in against Montreal to boot. Put him in again tonight against the Rangers. Now it's 4-2 for the Rangers.
The Rangers
for
won
Pittsburgh.
4-2.
4-2 winners, right? They tied it up. Penguins tied it up 2-2. Like, that was big. They beat the Rangers last time 3-1, I believe the score was. You know, they were only 4 or 5 points behind the Rangers for that number 3 spot. I think they play them 2 more times, if I'm not mistaken. The Rangers and Penguins play 2 more times.
Yeah. I just want to mention one other thing here today. And unbelievable. Montreal is playing Florida. Florida is beating Montreal 9-5. 9-5. And Kachuk has a goal and 3 assists. All right. And overtime, Tampa, because Tampa and the Leafs, 3 points. The Leaf Leafs they're in overtime, so Tampa has a point already. So it's going to be 2 points. If they win, it's a point. I don't know if we're talking about the Maple Leafs here, and everybody's, we're going to finish second, we're going to have home advantage and all that. Does that matter if you're a Maple Leaf player? Because if you're a Maple Leaf fan, would you would rather have home advantage? Okay, let's face it. Maple Leafs want that home extra game playoffs. Yeah, playoffs. The tickets are $300, right? But if you're a Maple Leaf person and want with the company and everything like that, is it is it in your head when you don't win already for 20 years, then you're having a good year and all that, you have second place, and then with 15 games left, there are 15 games left, that you lose second place and you have to play in Tampa, you lose that home game.
Yeah, you want that final game, if need be, to be on your home ice.
Yep.
And to me, I'd want to keep home ice advantage. I really would. You know, they're up by 3 points in a game in hand on Tampa Bay.
Well, now it's 2, and if Tampa wins, it's going to be 1.
Yeah, and Stamkos is back now. He's he had the little knee issue last week, whatever. So he's back. Yeah, you want, especially as close as these teams are, you want every advantage you possibly can have, and one of them would be home ice advantage. And that goes to sleeping in your own bed, knowing how you're getting to the rink, knowing which way you're taking to the rink, waking up and doing the things you do when you're at home, as opposed to being on the road. And who knows, there might be, back in the day, used to be fans calling your hotel room to wake you up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
To distract you. So there's stuff like that. You'd rather be at home to play in that final game 7 or game 5, whatever it is the series is. But that's the game you want. So Leafs want to finish ahead of Tampa and stay with that home ice advantage. There's no question about that. Like, Samsonov played good last. Murray played good 2 nights ago. As much as I said he shouldn't have been, I'm surprised that Keefe started him. He did play pretty good. I don't think any of the goals were his fault in that game against I think it was Buffalo, you said?
Yeah.
Buffalo, he played pretty good. Same as Jari tonight. Jari, it looks like it was 1 empty netter, and he saved 31 on the 34 shots. So, but you still need that goalie you don't expect him to make that save, and he makes it for you to either keep you guys in the lead or bring you back so you can score a goal to tie things up. That's what the great goalies do. The Martin Brodeurs, the Patrick Roys, those guys, they make the big save when you expect it. You didn't, look at that, you just saved that, and that turns things around. And I'll use it the other night, for example, because it's Pittsburgh Penguins. I know them very well. Is Flyers and Penguins, which is a big rivalry in the state of Pennsylvania, playing each other, 2-1 game. The Smith makes a save out of nowhere with his stick. Was clear as day going in, his stick out stops out of midair. What ends up happening? The Penguins go on a run and they win that game 5-1. So they scored 3 goals after that big save. So big saves get the team going. They say, hey, we got to win this now for what he's doing for us behind us. So that's what these goalies have to do. Samsonov and Murray for the Leafs. And Samsonov played good yesterday. And Murray, like I said, in 6 games, 4+ goals he's allowed.
Yeah, and just a side note, they're in overtime, a minute left between Tampa and New Jersey. Stamkos has 2 goals, and Timo Meyer, the big acquisition at the trade deadline, has 2 goals for New Jersey. Again, a minute left, 46 seconds left, 3-3 in overtime. Tampa and New Jersey. Colorado coming off a victory here last night are in Ottawa leading with 2 minutes left. The Ottawa Senators 5-4.
Now, is Ottawa, Joe, just to interrupt you for a second,
Yeah.
like Ottawa was looking like they're going to make this push for that final wild card spot. Everyone's thinking, okay, they went and got Chikrin. They made some other little small moves, and they have not. They're on a 3-game losing streak now. If they lose tonight, it'll be a 4-game losing streak.
They're 8 points back. They're not.
They're done, right? So there is a couple teams here that you look at, like the Panthers making a run. They have 3 games in hand on the Islanders.
Yeah. Then they're
only 5 points behind, right?
And they're going to be 3 points because they're going to win.
Points, yep.
Yeah.
So the Penguins, as much as I look at them, I say, okay, they're only 5 points up. There's only a game difference between the Penguins and Florida. The next step behind that is the Capitals, who, by the way, I'll be watching next Saturday. The Penguins and the Capitals play from PPG Arena in Pittsburgh. That's where I'll be going. So
are you going to be on the Fired Up Network post game or pre game or anything?
I may have to go up and slide up beside Jay Caulfield and that up at the top of the rink and say, hey, we're going on Fire Night Live here. Fired Up Live, and we need you to give some input for us. Maybe I'll slide up there and see if I can get that done, Joseph.
Because you were on this week on another show, you didn't ask for permission. You didn't ask the co-host.
There is a loophole in my contract, Joseph, with Fired Up Network that allows me to. And I think that loophole is I've never signed anything. I think that's what the loophole is.
All right, no, but you were great with the broadcasting legend Stormin Norman on. The Grief Show Monday at 7 p.m. and you did a very, very good job. You represented Fired Up Network superbly. Norm represented
Joseph. I used your word for you.
Put me over. You put me over.
You over, Joseph. I put you
only
over
once.
So.
Part of the deal was 3 times because it's a pin wrestling.
I did it so good it only needed to be done once.
Yeah, well, no, I gotta admit you were good on it. So I taught you everything you know. Kudos to me, rather. All right. So is there?
Here, we'll go. One sec. We'll go back to just where we're going through the NHL here for a second, real quick. Like you're looking at, Edmonton, Seattle. They're 1 point separate. Winnipeg has that second wild card spot.
Yeah.
Nashville is behind them, but has 3 games in hand. And Winnipeg's losing tonight, I believe, as well.
Yeah, and they're 4 points up on Nashville.
And Calgary's 3 games in hand. And Calgary is, you look at Calgary, I just don't know what to make of Calgary. Like, they made the mistake of letting Goudreau walk and get nothing back for him. Yeah. Then they got a couple good players back for the Tkachuk deal, but they just haven't clicked yet on all cylinders all season, I don't feel. Could they make a run here to get up? There's no games in hand.
They always can make a run, but I think, Sutter may have lost that room.
And that's the problem with guys like him and Torts. They only have a short shelf life nowadays because of the way things are in sports. So you might be right there. Like, you look at Vancouver, Tocchet takes over and they won 5 games in a row.
Yeah.
Right. And you got to remember, Demko was out for a lot of the season.
Yep.
Right. Demko's back. Is that coincident now that they're playing a little better hockey? Probably is. They need him, and we know that in order to do anything any good in NHL, you need to have that good goalie. And
by the way, Edmonton is leading Dallas at first intermission 2-0. McDavid, another point. Ho-hum. This guy is like...
And here's something. We'll go back to the Penguins about this. So Sidney Crosby got 2 points tonight, which will make it that he averages a point a game for the 18th time in his 18-year career that he's averaged a point a game or more. There's only one guy that's done that. Wayne Gretzky's done it for 19 years.
Yep. So
Crosby could do it next year.
Yeah, 1 more year. Still in a shootout now. Tampa and New Jersey as a shootout. Hopefully We'll get that score right away. By the way, the Raptors just beat Oklahoma 128-111. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, the Canadian, 29 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Pascal had a game, 25 points, 14 boards, 8 assists for that. The Raptors winning 128-111. Of course, the Maple Leafs are in action tomorrow against Carolina. Good Friday night game. Saturday, they're in Ottawa. And the Raptors are here at the Scotiabank Arena Saturday, 7 p.m. versus Minnesota. Then Sunday at 8 p.m., they're in Milwaukee. So
Now, Joe, did you? I didn't get a chance to watch it with you and Captain Canada and Anthony K. Did you guys talk about Masai at all?
Not Masai. We talked just a little bit about Masai, but we talked about Nick Nurse, how, Team Canada and the Raptors coaching, and basically what has he done since they won the NBA title?
And that's the exact same though for Masai. What has Masai
Yeah.
given him to keep winning? Like that's what I look at here. Like they both have a longer leash because they won the championship. There's no question about that. When is that leash done? Like Masai had trading chips he could have used this year. Yes, he got Portal. Great. Thank you very much. But he had a couple of OG Trent that he could have used to start his rebuilding process with the Raptors. And he chose not to. And this is going on the year 4?
We did speculate on Masai Ujiri, why he did not do that trade. I think Anthony came up with, because he has heard, I didn't hear this, but he has heard that there may be something bigger in the works, but because since it's bigger, they had to wait till the off season.
Okay, that'd be, if that happens, that'd be fair enough.
These guys still are under contract, even the season's over. They're still under contract till, I believe, in the NBA till July 1st or July 4th, and
it might make sense that then that way they took no contracts back, and if they decide to let Trent and a Freddie walk, they got a little bit more money. But in the NBA, you can re-sign your own player whatever value you want, and it doesn't count against you. I think it's called the Larry Bird rule. That's why I'm surprised, because Trent is a free agent at the end of the year. Are they going to pay him that kind of money that he's going to want? I'm going to say no.
No.
That's why I'm going to say Freddie, as much as Fred's a good player, I just think he's not on the floor enough to command the big bucks that he would deserve if he was healthy all the time. They have Masai has some things he has to figure out. And at least you have a big man in the center now, because that's what since they got rid of, truthfully, yes, we got Gasol in that trade, but ever since JV has been gone, there hasn't been that young center that they had that could pull down rebounds and get you some points. And now they have that back. So at least that's a good starting point for next year. But I'd like to know what the leash is going to be on Masai and Nurse. We know Nurse is the first guy out the door. Nurse is the first guy out the door.
Well, they signed Masai to a big, year contract, so he's not out the door. But
there has to be a time when, because fans seem to give him that leeway. Media seems to give him that leeway that they don't question things that he does because he brought them a championship.
The trades, like we believe in Masai, right? So he does the trades. He has the balls, put it that way, to trade the face of the franchise, DeMar, for 1 year, and let's face it, that 1 year of Kawhi Leonard, if it wasn't for Kawhi, we wouldn't win.
No, right? You're right. You're absolutely right. And that was a situation that fell perfectly onto the Toronto Raptors' lap. You had a superstar that did not want to play in San Antonio. And you had a we'll call him a superstar here with DeMar.
He wasn't a superstar.
But he wasn't that guy that was going to get you that. He wasn't okay, we'll call him a star, not a superstar.
Yeah.
And he wasn't that guy that was going to get you over that hump of winning a championship. And Kawhi was that guy, and they did it. They made that move for him. Now, does he have that in his pocket again? Like there was talk of him with Durant and stuff like that, and it fell through. Is there anything that's going to happen in the offseason that can see these guys? Like, I don't know. I think this year in the draft, isn't the top 2 guys are like far and above everyone else in this draft, and
it's not like a quality. the star players are not, they're usually in the NBA draft. You got 5, 6, 10 star who could make star players. Like, look, Scotty Barnes fell to number 4, and look, right, and people were questioning again. You talk about Scotty Barnes. People were Masai Ujiri. People were who's this guy? You had to take Mobley. You had to, and look, Scotty Barnes. This is why he gets a little bit more of a chain there, because he goes picks guys that he sees the future, the talent. Like I just said, Pascal. Nobody would have picked Pascal, but he saw something in it. And is Pascal a superstar? No, he's a good. But here's the problem, and I'm gonna say with the Raptors in the NBA, if you want to win the title, you have to have a superstar, a star, and then a budding star. 3 guys on the team. So they have Raptors, Scotty Barnes, not yet a star. Pascal is a star, not a superstar.
Pascal is that guy, though. Pascal's that guy that runs really well as that number 2 guy.
Exactly.
If you have that number 1 guy and Pascal's your 2 guy, he is pretty damn good. When everything runs through him, that's when I think you see him fumble a bit. Now, he's had a great year. There's no question about it. But you're right. They need that superstar. There's no Kyle Lowry now, no Bulldog there that can just bust his tail to win games, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what they do in the offseason. And, right now they're in that play-in spot.
Yeah.
Do they get into that?
Even if they make it in the first round, I think the Raptor fans, will be happy, because there was, you make it in the first round, like 2 years ago when they were in the bubble, okay, coming off the championship, you took Boston to 7 games. So, okay, that's something good. Then last year, I think it was 2 years ago when they played Philadelphia, they lost. There was some chance, okay, maybe we could beat Philadelphia, but if we lose, Philadelphia is definitely a better team. Okay, but this year, we did not expect, or a lot of fans did not expect, that the Raptors would make the playoffs, let alone play in and then go into it. So let's see what happens. There's, a couple games, 18, 15 games left. The thing in the NBA here is Sacramento's winning again. Sacramento never, for 25 years, never makes the playoffs. Of course, people remember, I think it was 20 years ago, Sacramento and the Lakers, and Robert Horry had the game-winning shot there that took the Lakers on to winning a title. But if he didn't have that, Sacramento would upset the Lakers. So Sacramento, and by the way, for NBA fans, Ja Morant was suspended 8 games today for his part in that video debacle there. So he hasn't played since March 3rd, and now he's been suspended 8 more games. And Marty, I'm just gonna go
You're getting all choked up, or Joseph.
Just gonna go back to the NHL. So Rangers beat Pittsburgh 4-2. Colorado beats Ottawa 5-4. Tampa won in a shootout, so they get 2 points. They're a point behind the Maple Leafs, 4-3. Florida beat Montreal 9-5. Edmonton at the end of 1 is beating Dallas 2-0. At the end of 2, Boston is beating Winnipeg. Boston keep on rolling there. And Chicago at the end of 2 is beating Nashville there. Blue Jays, we'll talk again, baseball. Blue Jays losing today in spring training to the Baltimore Orioles 7-4, a rare night game. Zach Thompson, went 3 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, struck out 3, did not walk a batter. But again, the Blue Jays losing to Baltimore 7-4. And Marty, I sent you in social media the updated pictures of the Rogers Center. Boy, I gotta say this, and for everybody in the Blue Jays land, you could purchase $20 seats, but not have tickets, but not have seats. You could roam around in the new club area and everything like that. I think that's worth it. What do you say, Marty?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Like I've said it all along. I just want to go and sit around the bullpen. That's what I want to see. How that all is. You get to see it now. It's not below the 200 level where no one gets to see it, because the wall in front of it, you barely get to see through it. It had some fencing there, and unless you were right at that first row, the 200 level, you didn't get to see the bullpen. Now you get to see. You get to see who's up. You get to see how they go about getting ready to go into the game. I'm going to enjoy it. They're making it more fan friendly, and hopefully it's the same way when the roof is closed as when it's open. That the same atmosphere is going to be there. I'm looking forward to it. We got a few more weeks till they're back. They start at home. What are they? 9-game road. They're on the road for 9 games.
Open up April 11th. April 11th is the home opener for the Jays.
And there's still, they have a couple decisions I think they still have to make. They have to decide who they're going to keep as that, I guess, utility type guy. Yes, Biggio and Merrifield are going to be there, but there's still one more they're going to keep. Is it going to be Lopez? Is it going to be the
he had a great
Barger?
For Canada, Lopez.
Right, yeah. Or I really like Addison Barger. I really do. Yeah. Big guy, can play the infield, can play the outfield, has some power. I think that's the guy that they bring in to sit on the bench and relieve guys. Then the bullpen, there's one spot left open there. Who are they? To me, it should be 2 spots. If you're asking me, there's Richards. I'm not a fan of Richards. I have not been. I just don't think his 92-mile-an-hour fastball and his changeup are what you need out there. Mitch White, I keep hearing these guys, if Mitch White's healthy, he's the guy out there. I don't know why you're keeping Mitch White in any part of the pen or the rotation. You got Pearson there that's throwing 101, and they have Zuluta, a Cuban that the Jays have, who strikes out well over a guy, and then he gets up to 98, 99 miles an hour. Another guy in the bullpen that you could use. So there's some decisions. We'll see what's going to happen, who they keep. But those are the 2 guys that I hope make it into this. And, Vlad's back. His knee's healthy, it looks like. He swung the bat really good yesterday. And it was funny, after the game, he rushed down to Miami to watch Dominican play in their turns out their final game.
Yeah.
But, Bo's been swinging the bat really good. I think, Chapman has to pick it up a little bit. Varsho has to. I'm not worried about them, but these are guys that, will pick it up in the last week.
Yeah.
The last week of the season, they'll get going.
The key thing is if nobody gets injured, right? Because look at the Yankees, half the roster injured, right? So
the Yankees, like you look at, like I said this last week, then they had 3 of their 5 guys in the starting rotation out. Now you've lost, I think, another 2 or 3 guys there. They've lost their Bader, their starting center fielder they got from St. Louis. He's out with an oblique injury, and we know what obliques do.
It could be long time.
It could be 2 weeks. It could be 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Before he gets away. So that's the big thing, getting out of spring training healthy. And so far, the Jays have managed to do that. Outside of Vlad, all the rest of them have been pretty good. And, Kiermaier's looking really good. I know I was hard when they signed him just because I didn't see where this was going. But he's looked really good. It looks like him and Springer are getting along really good. So that's a good sign there.
And don't forget, a Major League executive said, don't worry about Kiermaier, right? Major League executive.
Well, the big concern I have with him is he's always injured, right? So if he can stay healthy, he had the hip surgery, I think it was. He looks all right. He gets on base. Yeah. He's going to be probably that 9 hitter. Gets on base for the top of that order. He's going to have a lot of runs scored if he stays healthy with the Springers, the Bows, and Vlad's coming up behind him. So I'm looking forward to this, Joe. I can't wait. Spring training, as much as it seems very long.
It's short. It seems like we're going on March 17th. There's 10 days left till opening day.
Right. You'll see next, probably sometime next week, you'll see guys starting to play almost full games. Right?
Yeah.
Pitchers will be going, 5, 6 innings. They won't be coming after 3. I'll give it, like, right now the starters have looked really good for the Jays. As much as it's, spring training, they look like, for the most part, their off-speed pitches are looking really good. Their control is really good. The thing that throws me off is watching Bassett calls almost 99% of his pitches. Now he has the pitch comm on his glove, so he'll call the pitch for Jansen instead of shaking off the 6 pitches that he has. It's going to be a little bit different for a guy like Jansen who's been around and is used to calling the games when Bassett's on the mound. But I'm looking forward to Kirk's back in the lineup. I read today that they're looking to keep Kirk and Jansen out of the DH spot for the most part.
Yeah.
Belt will be that guy this year. So that'll be good knowing that those two guys will just be rotating back and forth between starts behind the plate. I'm
Depending
looking
the
forward to it.
pitcher and everything. So
Yeah, it depend on. I'm gonna guess. Bassett, Jansen will be Bassett's guy.
yeah.
Kirk is Manoa. So those two guys are for sure with those two guys, and they'll figure out what
Who's
Kikuchi and
Kikuchi's guy? Never mind.
Kikuchi. I don't know if I'm gonna. It might be Jansen. That because Kikuchi's looked good so far during spring training with Jansen behind the plate. Do you want to mess that up going into the season and put Kirk behind her when Kikuchi's looked so good with Jansen there? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they decide there, but it's a couple of weeks away, and then that's it. It's go time.
And hopefully the weather gets better. Okay, so put it that way. When you talk about starting, Major League Baseball starting and all that, it's here in Toronto at least, and you live in Barrie. We don't want to see snow again. All right, Marty. So I'm going to tell everybody programming notes, Marty. Programming notes. All right. We did 3 hours tonight, and Marty, tomorrow 11:30 a.m. The world. I'll let you cut the promo for this one, Marty. Go ahead.
Is it for sure? Is Carmen going to be in his car? Or is he going to be sitting in his office?
By the way, Marty. Just a side note here. Okay, want to do a special shout out. Happy birthday to my niece Alyssa, my sister's oldest kid. Giancarlo Alino's 26th birthday today. Marty Roberts, do a tip, and it's Stone Cold Steve. What?
Did he get? Did he?
316 day, Marty. Come on, get some beer out there. Happy birthday to Giancarlo. Come on.
Did he get my package of ballpark Franks I sent them?
No, he doesn't like that. He likes Italian food. All right, so that's it. But Marty, tomorrow, 11:30. 11:30. What do we have?
You have the world famous soccer show with the birthday boy Giancarlo, John Freeman Nelson from Atlanta, Georgia area. The coach, Carm, maybe from his electric car that he's driving around York University. I don't know, or he might be in his office.
No, well, here. He told me he will try to make the show. He had a root canal today. So all I say is nobody listens to you anyways. Just to mumble, and I'll get John Nelson to translate. That's all. But the world famous soccer show tomorrow.
Wait, you didn't tell me who else was on the show. You cut me off, Joseph.
All right.
And the most important guy that pulls the strings and pushes the buttons and pulls up all this stuff, Joseph.
Yes. Thank you, Marty. That was great. But Marty, as I mentioned, Marty, I need to know this. We're going to have a pre-game show for Maple Leafs, post-game show for Toronto 6 tomorrow. Are you going to... I'm not doing a post-game Maple Leafs show. Pre-game, because I got to do a SmackDown, wrestling. Come on. All right.
Wrestling.
Yeah. You want to come on a wrestling show, Marty? Anyways, are you going to be on here about 5:30, 6 o'clock for the pre-game show?
I might possibly be able to be on here for that. Because I'm probably not going to the Toronto 6 game tomorrow. I'm probably going Saturday. So, yeah, I might be here.
All right. So, here it is. Saturday, we may do a pre and post for Maple Leafs, and we're going to definitely talk about Toronto 6. Can you, if you're going to the game's at 2, it finished 4:30, can you be here for 6 o'clock on Saturday?
That could be cutting it close because once they win, I might be on the ice celebrating with the wobbly pops and busting the top of the champagne bottle. I will not pull a Diaz and wreck my patella.
Busting the cop, all right?
Busting the cop. I might be on the ice. I might be, I have a straw that'll go into Kipling's mouth that I can drink my beer from there. So we're good.
All right, Marty, as we close it out, tell everybody how they could get a hold of you.
Yeah, you can follow me, Old Lefty 22 on Instagram and Twitter. Reach out to me there, and we'll talk.
And just a side note, we advertised our good friend was going to be on the show. He couldn't be on the show. We're thinking about you. We're talking about Billy the Greek, Billy Jorgansakis, all right? So for everybody who appeared on the show today, Drew Ebanks, Captain Canada, OnPointBasketball.com, Anthony K, Sports Fluent, Courtney Riddle from the Renaissance Mama, of course, Taylor Woods. Good luck to Taylor Woods tomorrow, game 1 of the best of 3 between the Toronto Six and Connecticut Whale at the Mattamy Athletic Center. Game 1, 3 p.m. Game 2, Marty Roberts most likely will attend at 2 p.m. Marty Roberts, have a great night. Stay tuned for more great programming on the Fired Up Network. Thanks, Marty.